Chief Guest, Chief of Staff and the Head of the Public Service, the Honorable Felix Koskei, EGH, Principal Secretary, State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication, the Honorable Stephen Isaboke, EBS, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Telposta Pension Scheme, Mr. Julius Cheptioni, Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Board of Trustees, Telposta Pension Scheme, Mr. Peter Rotich, Chief Executive Officer, Telcom Kenya, Mr. Mugo Kibati, Chief Executive Officer, Retirement Benefits Authority, Mr. Charles Machira, the Board of Trustees, distinguished retirees, members of the scheme, all protocols observed, welcome once again and thank you for making time to be here with us. We welcome all the distinguished members of the scheme who are watching us live, either on Citizen TV or KBC, and also online. Karibuni sana. In our presence today, we have some of the founding members of the scheme, and I understand that among us are some of the members who are well-aged, but they're here all looking young and wonderful. May I just ask, ndio chief guest aweze kujua, who here is 95 years of age? The youngest, 95 years of age. Who is here? Who is 90? Slightly younger. Who is 85 here? Ili chief guest aweze kuwaona. 85? Oh, we're getting younger and younger, eh? Okay, who is around 80? Between 80 and 85? Makofi kwa huyu bwana. Simama tafadhali. Simama tafadhali. Simama. Nakupa nafasi. Msalimie tu chief guest. Usema tu habari. Usiseme mengi. Habari.
Chief guest nimeambiwa niseme habari. Habari bwana.
Asante sana. Huyu bwana ana miaka michanga kidogo, haja kwenda sana. Kwa hivyo tunasema asante sana kwa kuwa pamoja nasi. And program is going to last for a couple of hours, but because our chief guest is here moja kwa moja, I'd like to be inviting to start us off our program for today, officially the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Telposta Scheme, Mr. Julius Cheptioni, to start us off. Asante sana. Karibu. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Good morning. Our guest of honor, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei, PS Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Mr. Isaboke, Stephen Isaboke, Bwana Mugo Kibati, CEO, Telcom Kenya, Jose Akili, Senior Counsel. I see Joe Ogutu there, Karibu. And Bwana Olubai. Distinguished guests, esteemed members, fellow trustees, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Today is not just another AGM. Today is a milestone, an affirmation of our resilience, our progress, and our shared purpose. It's a privilege to welcome you to the 22nd Annual General Meeting of the Telposta Pension Scheme and Telposta Provident Fund. Whether you are in person, joining us virtually, all of you, I thank you. Your presence sends a clear message that we care deeply about the future of our members, the strength of our scheme, and the legacy we're building together. Members, ladies and gentlemen, before I dive into our achievements and vision, let us pause to honor a man who gave so much to this scheme. On 27th of September this year, we lost Mr. John Philip Lusa, who departed this heavenly being. He was a leader of exceptional humility, wisdom, and dedication. He served this scheme with passion and wisdom, and that remains on the governance structures. It's witnessed in the governance structures and the decisions that guide us today. To his family, We offer our heartfelt condolences to his memory. We offer our deepest respect. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, let's all be upstanding to observe a minute of silence. Thank you. I want to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, our trustees, the ones who are serving today. And if I introduce you, you stand, or perhaps we all stand, and I will point at you. Mr. Ignatius Wamalwa, who is the head of controlling at Telkom Kenya. Esther Mutisia, who is the Director Human Resource at Telkom Kenya. Jonathan Tanchu, Head of Strategic Partnership for Tcash at Telkom Kenya. A member elected, Ms. Rosabella Mbai. She's a pensioner. Another pensioner, Mr. Gabriel Tanyasis, also member elected. Thank you. Ms. Doreen Yamwange, on casual replacement of the late J.P. Lusa. Doreen? Thank you. Thank you, Doreen. Stella Wawira, who's our legal advisor. So to each and every one of you, thank you for your commitment, your professionalism. The members are thankful every other day you give your service. Allow me to now recognize the founding trustees who set up the foundation pillars upon which the scheme derives its strength, and they were in the original trust deed dated 1997, and also in the certificate of incorporation that set up the scheme as a totally separate legal entity from the sponsor, Telkom Kenya. Ambassador Bishar Hussein, is he here today with us? Kalai Salome Maluki, present here today? Give a shout out if they're next to you. Josephus Owio. Thank you very much, sir. Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir. Honorable was that a shout out? He's next to you. Thank you. Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, MP for Anabkoi. Apollo Ngzano, former General Manager, Finance. The late Jan Mutai. The late George Owiti. And the late Augustine Cheserem. Ladies and gentlemen, members, our guest of honor, we're honored by the presence of distinguished leaders, members, and partners who continue to engage and support this pension scheme. I note the presence of Wasea Kili, Senior Counsel. I note the presence of James Olubai from Zamara, the presence of Joe Ogutu, retired from Safaricom, but diehard a member from the beginning as part of the HR team that supported the setting up of the scheme. If I have not spotted you, I see Postmaster General right there. Thank you very much, sir, for attending to support us as well. If I have not mentioned you, it's not for lack of respect, but because we haven't interacted this morning. Welcome. We're grateful for your collaboration, and we remain grateful for your partnership. Our journey is strengthened by the expertise of our partners, RBA, Do we have the CEO or representative here this morning? Thank you very much. Old Mutual, give us a wave from where you are. Cope Trust, thank you, Mr. Ifondeka. Gen Africa, Mr. Karaoke, thank you very much. KCB Bank, our custodian bank, thank you. Zamara Actuaries, represented by James Solubai, thank you very much. PKF Kenya, thank you. BSD Branding, thank you. Wellness in Retirement, thank you, Patricia. And of course, our secretariat, where are they? Can they be upstanding? This team is led by our Trust Secretary, Mr. Peter Rotich, and the reason we're here today and have been, so we thank you, Peter, and your team for the invaluable support you give to these members. Thank you. So as I thank you, I know the members have one question. Why this much attention, right? You recall that 2 years ago, I stood before you and I said, we will hold one annual general meeting in Nairobi. And we will hold it within 6 months after the end of our financial year. In other words, within the same calendar year. Do we have it or not? We have it. We have not. That is what. So this is the AGM. We also told you that we will strengthen governance within the scheme. I wish to report to you, or give you my report shortly, that is going very well. I know the question in your minds, because I told you in 2026, I do want you to ask me, what about our benefits? Wasn't that the question you are to ask me in 2026? Members? We exist so that your lives are better. And I want to tell you today, ahead of that 2026, that we've made tremendous progress in our transformation journey. And very soon, after the exercise we are conducting, we are going to be reviewing your monthly pension. So hold me to that, because we said we'll have one AGM, and we'll have it within 6 months, and we are now having it. I believe you can take me for my word. So let me talk about a few strategic initiatives and give you a report of what has been going on. So on litigation, you remember the Mariga Koseo appeal, where we reached a major turning point. Over decades, we've been in court. We had a ruling by the RBA tribunal in our favor, even though we have a judicial review appeal going on. We are a law-abiding institution, and we await the outcome of that review. On properties, the disposal of Telposta Towers, which is the biggest part of our property portfolio, is going very well. We are currently having the transaction negotiations with the National Treasury according to their letter of the 16th of December, 2024. So all this going well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. more for members. On residential properties, during our last AGM we held 6 months ago, we told you we were going to be selling properties on the basis of the approval we received from the National Treasury. So on 30th of October, ladies and gentlemen, we did advertise properties on the Nation newspapers, the Standard, and MyGov. And today, I report to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we have offers. Because the bids closed on 1st of December, we've issued letters of acceptance, and all inquiries are being handled through a dedicated desk and emailing system. Again, our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, members, it tells you that there is a strong interest and demand for Telposta properties and assets because of their strategic nature. On strategic sales to government, the board has given priority to ministries, departments, and agencies for the acquisition of strategic properties, like the Gilgil parcel of land, which has 174 built units, because of the strategic nature it holds. This initiative will not only benefit members of the Telposta pension scheme, but will also enhance government's broader strategy in optimizing public assets. We intend to move with speed. We will engage strategically to secure value from these properties. We have, as well, litigations on about 1.3 billion shillings worth of properties, comprising Mushai Drive, parcel of land, Mandera Road in Kileleshwa, Mwingi, and Kizingo. I wish to report that it's progressing very well, and we are at an appeal stage where in round 1 or round 2, the scheme has been receiving favor from the courts on account of justice for you members. Isn't this transformation? Isn't it transformation, members? Our guests of honor, these members, they have only one question. If that question is answered, they will go and have their cup of tea. How much more will I get every other month? And I wish to assure you, our guest of honor, that very soon, with the support we have now, we're going to conduct an actuarial study, and through that recommendation, we assure our guest of honor that these members will benefit immensely. But to get there, our members, we have to improve our governance, as I said, and how we do things. So our ERP system, which we told you in the previous AGM, 90% of it is implemented. It's part of our digital transformation journey on digitizing member and scheme records. The idea behind it is that we should serve you in record time. Together with that, we are strengthening our cybersecurity framework to make sure that your data is secure. And as I said, on governance, our internal audit function continues to be thoroughly helpful to the institution, because accountability is what we stand for. We have initiated a comprehensive review of all policy documents to ensure alignment with current legislation and best governance practices. We are also rebranding because we want to reflect the new journey. More money is a new journey, isn't it? More money in our pockets, isn't that a new journey? we should see something different, isn't it? So I'm sure some of you have been engaged in this exercise by BSD on making sure that we have a brand that reflects the aspirations of members, being member-focused, trustworthy organization, caring as well. So going forward, we'll experience clearer communication, faster and more consistent service, better trained staff, and more convenient ways to give and receive feedback. By the end of this project, the scheme aims to operate as a truly member-first institution dedicated to supporting members' financial security and dignity in retirement. We're not just changing our brand. We're not just going to be giving more benefits. We are transforming our culture. And that has been long coming. So members, as I said, I know the review of pension is something that touches each one of us, but besides pension, we also have benefits such as benefits once a principal member passes on. Do we do 5, 7, or for life support to the member, to the beneficiary? All these questions will be answered by the actuary. So we've heard you loud and clear. We understand the rising economic pressures. We're committed to finding solutions. We're working closely to ensure we de-risk the scheme through property disposals. As I say, that is really the elephant in the room. Whatever we give you now or tomorrow, when we do, we must give it until the last member benefits as well. And therefore, liquidity and security of our assets is very important. We will work with our professional advisors to explore sustainable benefits, improvements as liquidity from property disposals start to flow. And they have started, because those who wanted our properties, Peter will tell you he has received a lot of deposits. Thank you, Peter. We will move deliberately and responsibly. Your well-being remains our highest priority, whether you're here or you're watching us live at home. So the outlook for 2026, members, we will be focusing on property disposals across the country. We'll be unlocking more liquidity. We'll be enhancing investment diversification and strengthening cybersecurity. We will also be completing regularization of our titles, as you understand, with all the litigation and the vesting orders. And I must stand witness here to say the first time I visited the scheme and I was asking if it was vested, why is it not with us? Peter pulled out a very big report. I said, what is this about? He says, this is the Ndungu land report. Okay, what about it? He said, we read the vesting order, we read this other document, and we scan if there is any litigation. And for that, I thank this scheme, because they've worked very hard to make sure that all that was given to you is safeguarded, and the final process of that is having a title and the ability to dispose of so that the money can serve you. We will also be rolling out nationwide member education and wellness programs from March. We'll be continuing our service improvements, exploring feasible benefit enhancements, as I said. Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 will be a year of more action built on past incremental efforts, patience and resilience, that will transform ordinary moments into extraordinary achievements as we have waited for so long. As you know, the sale of Telposta Towers, which is the cream of our property portfolio, that exercise started in 2013. 2013. And progress was very, very minimal, even though a lot of hard work by past trustees was being done. And I know we have past trustees who are here who, because of these incremental efforts, were able today to say, we are turning around. Can I see by a show of hands, or if you can stand, trustees who've been part of Telposta, retired trustees? Can I see you standing? Some of you I may not know because we served at different times. Thank you very much for your guardianship. Thank you very much, because we only get told stories. And JP, bless his soul, did tell us a lot of stories of how you fought for the members. Thank you. As I conclude, allow me to express gratitude to the government, led here by the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koske, supported by Mr. Isaboke, PS, Broadcasting and Telecommunication. Our members, thank you for your trust. Our current and past trustees have said thank you for your leadership, your guardianship. The Secretariat, thank you for serving with heart. To our regulators and providers, thank you for guidance and expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close this year, we built momentum, we strengthened governance, we defended our integrity, we increased momentum on unlocking value, we improved member experience. Our mission remains unchanged: to grow, to assure the future, and secure the retirement benefits of our members. Thank you for your confidence. Thank you for your support, and thank you all for walking this journey with us. May God bless you all. Thank you very much. Guest of honor, members, allow me now to introduce a man who in the background has been following up what's going on, encouraging us, powering us, and making sure that Telkom stands with the members, the retirees, the pensioners, the sponsor himself, Mr. Mugo Kibati. Thank you very much.
Chief Guest, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koske, PS, Broadcasting Telecommunications, Mr. Stephen Isaboke, the Chairman of the pension scheme, the Secretary, trustees, all the various partners to the pension scheme. Some of them I can see, good friends of mine. Dr. Killian, congratulations on your SC elevation. Our senior, Mr. Joe Gutu, mentor in many ways. My partner there from Posta, PMG, and all the people, and especially the pensioners themselves. Good morning. Look, I am conscious of especially the chief guest's time, and I think today really the people who you should hear from are the chairman himself and the chief guest. And so I will actually make my remarks very brief. First, let me say it's an honor and a privilege to have been invited this morning to come and talk to you. Telkom Kenya remains a key, not just a sponsor, but a strategic partner to this pension scheme. All I want to say is that you know why a pension scheme such as Telposta is critical. Because all of us, including those who are at Telkom Kenya today or wherever it is people work, are hoping to have a decent, dignified retirement. And this is why we at Telkom Kenya, as a sponsors, take great care in following up on what's happening at the Telposta pension scheme. So I will not regurgitate what the chairman has said, but I do want to say a couple of things. One is that a number of years ago, when I took over the role as CEO of Telkom Kenya, and I began to engage the trustees, some of the present ones, some of the ones who are retired, and including the late John Lusa, who actually, Chief Guest, was in many respects my mentor, my friend. When I was in high school, a high school that Bwana Ogutu went to, he was our chair over the old boys, and when I came here and he was a trustee of the scheme, he really schooled me on this pension scheme and the importance of it and some of the major challenges with Bwana Rotich here. And therefore, at the time, I found significant challenges in the pension scheme, of which we were sponsoring. And I know that some requests were made to me directly, which I could not honor or fulfill. Because I made it very clear to the trustees that what is critical to this pension scheme is sustainability. To ensure that we have a sustainable pension fund that can support properly all the pensioners. And the chairman has talked about some of the challenges that we faced, and particularly the asset mix. In a 15 billion shilling pension fund, 70% of the assets were real estate. Actually, more than 70%. One particular asset was almost approaching 70%. And that was a big challenge. I want to say that I am gratified to see the progress that has been made towards reviewing that asset allocation mix so that it becomes a much more sustainable mix, has the right kind of liquidity to be able to grant the requests that pensioners make, and to be able to allow for the review that the chairman has spoken of, which I'm fully supportive of, to pensioners. Because you've earned it, you deserve it. This is what you spent years working for. I also want to say that, again, harking back to those years when I first engaged the pension scheme, my nomination of the trustees, and in particular our chairman, Julius Chepchion, was a deliberate, intentional nomination. And I hope you can see why. Why he has been the right man to lead the transformation that he has spoken about in his presentation, that is absolutely necessary to provide the sustainability that we are looking for. And I want you to join me in congratulating the chairman and the trustees for the work that they have done thus far and continue to do. I have the utmost confidence in them, and I'm very proud of the trustees, both elected as well as the ones who represent the sponsor, because they have taken the task, that transformation task, seriously and diligently. I also want to thank, again, add my voice to the chairmen in thanking the government, led by the head of public service and the PS here, in supporting those transformation efforts, because they all redound to the benefit of the pensioners here. So as I conclude, because I don't want to say much more than that, because I think we're all waiting for the right person to speak. As I conclude, I just want to say, because I stood here before a few years ago and I said the time will come when, as sponsor, I will support requests from the Board of Trustees, especially to review the pension payments, and I dare say in future, not quite yet, I think we need to conclude the task that he spoke about, even bonuses going forward will be supported by the sponsor. I know you're aware I've been quite tough on that issue just because, again, the point is, it's good to have delayed gratification than have a quick win today and then the whole thing collapses later. The health of the pension scheme now is at a position, or well on its way, to be able to grant pensioners what they have earned and what they deserve. And with that, I want to say, first of all, God bless the soul of my good friend, Mr. J.P. Lusa. He mentored me and taught me a lot about, and he was a very, very big defender of pensioners. I also want to say to you all, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a much more prosperous 2026 in more ways than one, and God bless you all. Thank you all very much. Let me see.
Chief guest, please, with your permission, allow me to bring back on stage our chairman to invite the principal secretary, broadcast and telecommunication.
Chief guest, members, ladies and gentlemen, duty falls on me now to invite the next speaker. But before I do that, you may ask why the choice of broadcasting and telecommunication. PS Stephen Isaboke stands behind an institution that we're negotiating with, or the institution that we're negotiating with. So much so that we pray, and I want you to pray when you see him here, that we conclude. As I asked Peter those days, I said, why? He said, but he's the tenant, he's also the biggest tenant, so why doesn't he take it? He went to him and he said, okay, I can think about it. He's thought about it, and guess what? He is happy, and he wants to tell you why he's happy. Karibu Bwana PS.
Our chief guest, who is the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, the Honorable Felix Koskei, EGH, colleagues who have actually been identified. So instead of calling out, because I've got so many names right from industry to my seniors, Osea Kili, Olubai, and the rest, really let me ride on the protocols already established by simply just calling out our chief guest. Sir, I know how your time is because we work with you very closely on a continuing basis. First of all, on behalf of my ministry, where actually Telposta Pension Fund falls under by sector, and on behalf of my colleagues, is to thank you first of all for sparing time to join us, because I know there's so many other state functions, so many other state events that actually require your time. So we do not take it for granted. I think give a round of applause to Head of Public Service. Number two, and I really am going to be brief, I have been briefed by the pension trustee administrator, Mr. Rotich, who in fact hopes calls Dosh. I don't know whether he was playing reggae that time. On the big numbers, so it is a closed fund with about 7,000 members, 15 billion pension assets. Most important, the Head of Public Service, Mr. Rotich whispered to me and says, one of us, like whispering almost softly, hopes is part of that pedigree of the legacy of Telposta Pension Fund. And then obviously calling out CS Chirichiri and the rest of the people who have passed through that. And for me, just as I close, to see what you've done, particularly from the history. I mean, you are a pension fund that was established before independence, because I see some people joined in as early as 1946. The 99-year-old member joined in 1946, the 1926 born member. And to see you maintain the institution over this period is actually a tribute to your governance and also to your principles that, in fact, the chairman spoke to. And I say this because Hobbes himself, in the current transformative agenda, is very particular about governance, and really that's going to be my closing remarks. Hobbes, since I joined government about 6 months ago, there's no single meeting that doesn't pass without you talking about zero audit findings, governance, compliance, obeying the laws, so that we respect the institutions, we respect the structures, and we get a working society. Finally, talking about what Julius was talking about, recently pension is becoming a big interest because, in fact, pension funds are in many, many jurisdictions used for development. So it's good to see that the Telposta pension fund already built Telposta Tower, which is actually a huge, huge asset, which you are trying to liquidate. And is an example of how you can actually protect long-term funds by actually investing in infrastructure. So I just want to confirm that that process is ongoing, and to your request about prayers, Chair, that process is going on. We're putting through the governance structures in terms of the sort of the cabinet and also all the legal advice, both HE and National Treasury, but it's all in progress. All the boxes are being ticked. You guys have done fantastic work, everything else, actuaries, all those things. So we are, in progress, and I just mentioned to Hobbes that everything going right, we should actually land it, obviously within the timelines and expected within the law. I want to close by actually taking it as my honor and privilege to invite the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service to actually address us. A round of applause for, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We can have our seats. The Chairman, Board of Trustees of the Telposta Pension Scheme and Telposta Pensions Provident Fund, Mr. Julius Cheption, the trustees and members of the Telposta Pension Scheme Secretariat, led by Peter Rotich, the Chief Executive Officer of Telcom Kenya Limited, and sponsor of the scheme and the fund, Mr. Mugogibati, the CEO of the Retirement Benefits Authority is around, members, service providers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm happy to be here today. I can see familiar faces across from one corner to the other. Good to see Joe Gutu, to see Kipkorir, who was manager IB. Good to see Tanyasis, who was general manager finance. Rosabel Mbai, I can see Jotanu PMG, I can see Mbanya, and I can see all of you. Good to see you. It is an honor to join you at the 25th Annual General Meeting of the Telposta Pension Scheme and Fund. Today, we are not just discussing numbers and returns. We are reflecting on the promises we made to those who have dedicated their lives to public service and the enduring legacy we are shaping for future generations. First of all, allow me to commend the Board of Trustees for their unwavering commitment to accountability and stewardship. The continuity of these annual general meetings is a testament to principled leadership and dedication, setting an example for institutions across the country. As a former employee of the Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation, its predecessor, Telcom Kenya Limited, and also a member of this scheme, I feel deeply connected to this gathering. Today, we honor the individuals whose service laid the foundation for Kenya's telecommunications sector. Your efforts were not merely a job, they were an investment in the nation's future. And on that, Mr. Mugo, and I know you are the newest entrant to this sector, these people, the effort that they put is what you see now. The effort that Ogutu and his team put to make Safaricom what it was, what it is now, from one room operative to where it is now, is not a mean task. They need to be acknowledged, and they are really, and we truly appreciate these people. So despite the challenges facing a closed pension scheme, including limited income contributions, the Telposta pension scheme has demonstrated remarkable resilience. Benefits are paid on time, reflecting disciplined management and foresight. The government's intervention in 1999 through the transfer of property assets and the financial support of Kenya shillings 8 billion in 2008 to clear liabilities exemplifies a strategic partnership that safeguards retirees' welfare. The financial statements reveal a surplus, yet the high exposure to property holdings, over 83% against the regulatory limit of 30%, poses a strategic and regulatory challenges. Fixed assets create a structural risk, but also an opportunity. Divestiture from strategic assets can strengthen liquidity and amplify the scheme's capacity to generate sustainable returns. I urge the board to act decisively, because strategic assets management is not merely compliance, it is a moral obligation to the members. Our Constitution enshrines the right to social security. Article 43 guarantees this right, while requiring the state to provide protection to those unable to support themselves. But in practice, this has been reinforced through initiatives such as the cash transfer program for senior citizens that Telposta is doing it. The establishment of the Retirement Benefits Authority and enactment of the Retired Benefits Act has brought professionalism, discipline, and transparency to the sector. The implementation of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme and the NSSF Act has expanded coverage and accelerated the growth of pension assets, now at approximately Kenya shillings 2.9 trillion. Yet, this is more than a financial metric. It is a repository of national trust and collective foresight. Lessons from other jurisdictions illuminate our path. Australia's superannuation system, with a compulsory employer contribution of 11%, has created a pool exceeding Australian dollars 4 trillion, financing infrastructure and social services while ensuring retirement security. Singapore's Central Provident Fund, on the other hand, provides a tripartite model: housing, healthcare, and retirement security, achieving nearly universal coverage, while Chile transformed its system in the 1980s into a robust individual account model, now recognized globally for sustainability and efficiency. Our challenge is to translate Kenya's growing pension assets into strategic national impact. These funds must catalyze transformative investment in infrastructure, healthcare, education, housing, transport, and energy. Public-private partnerships offer a viable vehicle to achieve this while safeguarding returns for pensioners. In 2023, the government launched the National Pensions Policy, spearheaded by RBA, to expand coverage. Currently, only 26% of the working age population participates in pension schemes, with the informal sector largely excluded. Nearly 17 million Kenyans in the informal economy are not saving for retirement. Under this section, the President's call of leaving no one behind under the better plan, the sector must innovate with urgency in order to ensure a much wider coverage of the hitherto excluded population through, one is strengthening compliance enforcement, secondly is leveraging digital platforms for daily or weekly micro savings, thirdly is providing financial literacy for informal sector earnings, and fourthly is designing products that integrate short-term savings with long-term pensions. I wish to challenge pension professionals to innovate, particularly in designing products that introduce auto-enrollment for mid-large employers, that offers matching incentives for informal sector contributions, and also consolidate into low-cost default funds. And finally, to enable phased or pooled retirement incomes. By doing so, we can then be on track to achieve inclusive coverage, cultivate a domestic capital pool for development, and provide retirement security for millions. Turning now to healthcare, post-retirement healthcare costs are rapidly rising. The RBA's legislation and an awareness campaigns, coupled with government incentives, have begun to address this gap. Yet, only 600 Telposta retirees are now enrolled in SHIF, signaling an urgent need for growth. 600 only are being covered by SHA. So it is a very concerning situation. So timely pension processing is a moral and administrative obligation. Current measures including digitization of service records, verification of employment histories, clear processing timelines, enhanced coordination across MTAs. The goal is to ensure that public servants receive what is rightfully theirs promptly. Today, we meet at a time when economic realities, demographic trends, and technological shifts are rapidly shaping the pensions landscape. These changes demand that we advance with agility and resilience, not only as institutions, but also as leaders entrusted with safeguarding the dignity and welfare of our retirees. Agility means remaining responsive to the evolving needs of our pensioners, improving service delivery, embracing innovation, and ensuring that our systems are efficient, transparent, and people-centered. Resilience means strengthening the scheme's governance, diversifying investments prudently, and preparing for uncertainties so that the promises we make to every contributor is honored without fail. Our pensioners depend on us, on our stewardship, your foresight, and your accountability. Let us therefore continue working collaboratively to enhance sustainability, protect members' benefits, and uphold the trust placed in this scheme. I commend the Telposta pension scheme for the progress made so far and encourage you to build on this momentum. Together, let us advance with agility and resilience to ensure a scheme or to ensure a secure and dignified retirement for all those who have faithfully served our nation. As I conclude, I want to really thank the management of this scheme because since I shifted from the payroll, the active payroll, to the passive payroll that they manage, there has never been a month that has passed without me seeing that little pension that I always receive every month. I've also not missed an inquiry whether I'm alive or dead. Because every year I receive something and I'm told you must sign and either physically take it for Peter here to see that I'm still alive. To avoid a situation where some crooked people can continue drawing pensions and yet the beneficiaries are no longer there. It may look scary sometimes when somebody is trying to confirm whether you are alive or not. But I think it's the right thing to do. Yeah, it's part of governance to ensure that at every other time, the scheme secretariat, the management, knows where their members are, how they are, and what they are doing. Secondly, I always receive some notification of some meetings, some functions, and a lot of updates, which is a modern way of running the affairs of an institution like theirs, because the retirees are people who are slowing in life and they are fading away. They require most of the time to get updates. Sometimes you create, unintentionally so, some meetings, some fora, some capacity building, some kind of sensitization activities for them to come and share past experiences, and also count on themselves, to check on themselves whether they are still strong and alive or they are struggling. So this scheme is one of its kind, and I want to really thank the management. I want also to acknowledge the thought of trying to comply with the RBA rules, that we go down on fixed assets and then we make liquid assets to be available for members to continue receiving their pension without any difficulty. Because, as I said, fixed assets are good, but at the same time, you can be a billionaire in fixed assets, but you can die of hunger because you don't have money to buy food. You can boast that you have Telposta and you are not getting anything. So it's better to be having a mix of assets at any one time. That is best practice, even in investment management matters. So I want also to really acknowledge that desire of ensuring that they get a balance, as is always best practice. I want to also encourage my fellow retirees, pensioners, that let us keep the spirit running. Let us continue working very hard. Let us keep ourselves healthy. Let us ensure that we are there, and we are there not because we are surviving. You need to be there because you are living and you are contributing to the development of this country actively. So, and for that, you will live longer you live longer, you will feel valued, and you'll be part of the critical mass that handles, that ensures that the country is developing, because all of us wants to see the transformation, the results of the transformative initiatives that this administration has taken. We want all of us, those who are from Western Kenya, Kakamega, Kisumu, Kisii, North Rift to South Rift, to see the dual carriageway until Malaba. Isn't it so? You don't have to die now. Just wait until after it reaches Kampala, you can decide whether you want to go or you want to remain. You want to see a lot of buildings, these housing projects being rolled out in every town, in every village. We need to live for that. We want to see transformation in our lifetime. And that is why we are still critical and we are still important. Over and above that, we are a critical body of mentorship, the way Kipati said, that the kind of knowledge that you have, the kind of experiences that you have is invaluable. It is beyond and transformation your currency. It is beyond what you think. You may think it is nothing, but if you are there for the younger generation, if you are there for the new professionals, you are adding something into their professional life. You are adding something even into their social life. So you are not done yet. You still have a lot to do. We need to see an innovative renaissance of Telecom Kenya. We are still in denial that there is some other institutions that have overtaken Telecom. During our time, Kenya Post and Telecommunication was hiring 22,000 people. And by then, Joe Good here was the general manager of planning. Just imagine. Moving from analog to digital. He's here. Tanyasis was handling lots of money. And everything was still analog. There were papers. If you could go to his office, you could just shout at the door to find out whether he's there or not, because he was not seen, because the files were several meters high in the office. That is how it was then. And therefore, these are the people who can, and we need to, as government, we really need to have space to allow them to sometimes to lecture, for people to understand, for the young to understand, for the current generation to understand where we have come from and where we are heading. Therefore, I'm very excited to be here. I'm also, we are still representing you in various public lives. Joe is still standing strong in Safaricom. Davis Chirchir is still standing firm and ably so in cabinet. So you are in cabinet even if you are not, because Davis is there. I'm also head of public service. Just imagine, on your behalf, I'm there. John Tanui is Postmaster General, heading one of the institutions that was split. Ably so, I think you need to clap for, because one of your retirees is what? Is heading one of the institutions that was split. And many other people. We have several members of parliament, led by Jeb Konga and many others. So I want us to be happy that we are still strong, we are still having representatives across the country, and we are all part of the transformation of this country. So finally, today we reflect not only on financial stewardship, but on the legacy of trust, foresight, and commitment to the nation. Kenya's pension system can and must be a pillar of national development and social security. I urge all stakeholders to act with vision, courage, and urgency. So as we approach the festive season, I wish you and your families a Merry Christmas and Happy 2026. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless Kenya. Asante sana.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we are upstanding, may we continue to appreciate and applaud our chief guest today. We really want to thank him, and we appreciate the time that he has given us. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, of course, the chief guest has the permission to leave at his own pleasure, but we would like him to still stay with us and listen to the proceedings that will be here. But in case he'll be taking leave, we still want to appreciate him, but we will continue with our discussions. Makofi tena kwa our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, as he takes leave. We really want to thank you, but we also want to continue with our program for the day. So may I request the distinguished retirees, members who are here, dignitaries, please be seated as we continue with our program. Now, the Retirement Benefits Authority, RBA, as it is popularly known, is a regulatory body under the National Treasury established under Retirement Benefits Act. This act was enacted as part of the ongoing reform process in the financial sector in order to bring the retirement benefits industry under a harmonized legislation to address the many problems that were being faced in the industry. The enactment of this act filled a regulatory vacuum which had existed in Kenya. At the time the authority came into existence, retirement benefit schemes in Kenya were regulated primarily by fragmented legislation, mostly trust and income tax laws. The absence of specific retirement benefits regulations allowed some schemes to adopt different styles of operation. Commonly, sponsors or employees, as they are known, dominated the operations of industries, while members and beneficiaries were largely marginalized. The authority was thus established to facilitate industry reforms and, most importantly, to ensure that members' interests are protected. Schemes are now distinctly separate entities from the sponsors, established under an irrevocable trust and administered by legitimately appointed board of trustees. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in such forums, the annual general meetings, where we must invite and also hear from the regulator. And here to represent the RBA, ladies and gentlemen, may you please help me invite on stage Director Supervision from the Retirement Benefits Authority, Mr. Jackson Nguthu. As he comes, let's appreciate him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
The Chief Guest, Head of Public Service, the Chair Board of Trustees, CEO Telecom, members of the Telposta, both the Pension and Provident Fund, good morning. My name is Jackson Nguthu. I'm pleased this morning to represent the CEO of RBA, who was not able to join us for this AGM, but we are happy to represent RBA, and we are excited because you're having the 25th AGM, and we have been working with you all along. I would like to just thank the Board of Trustees for convening this meeting, where members are able to ask questions concerning what is happening in the scheme. They also get feedback on the issues affecting the scheme, and also get to know whether they are getting extra money in the following financial year. Convening an AGM is in compliance with the law, and we really appreciate the trustees for planning to have this AGM. We also want to thank the Board of Trustees and Telecom, the sponsor, for ensuring that the scheme is well funded. We know that the scheme, unlike other schemes within the country, the pension scheme is well funded, it has a surplus, The only challenge is, I think, is the liquidity, which is being addressed by the discussion we have had this morning. And I believe that the pensioners will be next year. You will face your chairman, and the chairman will be able to explain what he's doing with the excessive liquidity after the issues of illiquidity has been resolved. So there is hope, this future for this pension scheme. We'll also want to thank the government of Kenya for ensuring that last year, 27th of December, 2024, pension would not be taxable. And I think we need to appreciate the government of Kenya. Every retiree in Kenya will be receiving their pension without taxation. And these are milestones. For those who have been in the pension industry for long, we have been asking for this over almost 20 years. But last year, the government agreed to give back to the Kenyans. And I know Bwana, whom I know very well, and Chairman, I know them. So every retiree will be happy, and I believe this is a progressive issue that is happening with the country. I know we have a few challenges with the pension industry. I know it's not affecting Telposta. We have unlimited contributions, but I know here everything is okay. And as the head of public service has mentioned, let's wait until we see the better part of this country as we continue enjoying our pension. And I believe that Telposta is well placed to ensure that you continue receiving your pension in good time. And also, maybe after liquidity issues have been sorted out, maybe there will be an increase in the pension payable to each of the members. We had a quick presentation. I don't know if it has been loaded up. And I sit down because my colleague who is the actuary of the scheme and the scheme officer will be making the presentation. I want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy 2026 on behalf of the authority. We have walked the journey together, and we will continue supporting these two schemes so that you can continue receiving your pension and lump sum in good time, and also you live long so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor and serving this country diligently. Asanteni sana. God bless you. John, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest, Board of Trustees, the sponsor of the scheme, industry practitioners, service providers, and our esteemed members. Good morning. I'm Jambo. My name is John Muli Mutisia. I work in RBA under the director. I'm an actuary by profession, and I'm in charge of your scheme at the Retirement Benefits Authority. Trustees and Secretariat, it's always a pleasure to join you for AGMs. I was with you last year, and it's always a pleasure to join you every year for this auspicious occasion. Seeing our retired members, particularly the pensioners, reminds us at RBA why we wake up every day to go to the office. We wake up so that we can ensure that you receive your benefits in good time, and that that promise that was given to you while you're working, it's fulfilled by your scheme and your sponsor. I'm going to be making some very brief remarks. I was given 10 minutes, and therefore I'll be very brief, just to highlight some industry perspectives and where we sit as a regulator in terms of managing the scheme. So in terms of the industry overview, the size of the sector, the pension sector, has really grown over the years. RBA, we were established in the year 2000, and therefore we've been there for the last 25 years. Over the years, we've seen a lot of growth in the sector, starting with the pension assets. When we started managing the sector, the total size of the industry sector was below 40 billion Kenya shillings. This year, in June 2025, we reported 2.53 trillion Kenya shillings. In terms of the proportion to GDP, that was about 15.2%, and the all the schemes that we've registered, 1,032 retirement schemes, including your 2 schemes, have a total membership of about 7.53 million members. That translates to a coverage of 26%. We aspire to grow that to 32% by the year 2032. In terms of service providers, the RBA has registered 91 service providers. That includes fund managers, custodians, corporate trustees, and administrators. And I'm here to confirm that all your service providers are duly registered and regulated by the authority. In terms of some of the key milestones that we've gone through over the last 25 years, so in 1997, that is when we saw the enactment of the Retirement Benefits Act. In the year 2000, RBA was put in place by the government under the Ministry of Finance, the National Treasury, to oversight and regulate the pension sector. In 2010, we saw some serious reforms in the public sector, and this is when the government issued a circular requiring all defined benefit schemes to convert to defined contribution schemes. And that actually informs the reason why the scheme that we are having an AGM for today is a closed DB scheme. It's because of some reforms that were introduced by the government in the year 2010. In 2018, we introduced a new product. We call it the post-retire medical funds. This is a product to take care of the medical needs of our retirees, because we realized, yes, we were paying our retirees an income, but that income was not sufficient because most of it was being utilized through medical bills. And therefore, that product is in place. Quite a number of employers have actually started that arrangement, and we continue to encourage schemes and sponsors to set up post-retire medical funds. And we have a proper legal framework in place for supervision of those products. In 2023, we saw the enactment or implementation of the new NSSF Act. We call it NSSF Act of 2013. This increased contribution to pension schemes significantly from the previous 200 shillings to 6% of the employees' salaries. 2024, some other reforms, particularly on taxation of pension benefits. We saw a big break in that area through a full exemption of all benefits that are payable to anyone who has attained the age of 50 years and above. The same year, we also launched the National Retirement Benefits Policy, which sets a direction that the industry is going to operate under. Talking a bit more about the tax incentives. So for those who are still in schemes, the contributions that are tax exempt every month increased from 20,000 Kenya shillings to 30,000 Kenya shillings. If you are a member of a post-retire medical fund, the government is really supporting those members who are in a post-retire medical fund. They also granted a tax exemption of 15,000 Kenya shillings per month to a post-retire medical establishment. Pension benefits, as I've said, they're totally tax-free if you've attained the age of 50 years and above, or if you served at least 20 years in your current scheme. So those are significant changes. We welcome them. As RBA, as my director said, we've been pushing for them for a long time. The other change that we introduced this year is trustee terms. We have extended from the current 3 years to 5 years, and this was because of the feedback that we got from the sector that trustees are serving a very short time, and therefore they don't have sufficient duration to be able to oversee implementation of strategies that they have in place for the scheme. And therefore, we have increased that to 5 years, subject to a maximum term of 2 years. So a trustee now going forward will be serving 5 years, 1 term, subject to a renewal of a further 1 more term of 5 years. So a total of 10 years of service. Finally, as a regulator, I will not do you justice, members, if I don't tell you how your schemes are faring from where we sit. I just want to confirm what has been said before, that your schemes are well managed, your trustees have established proper governance structures, your schemes are well funded. The DB scheme particularly has a surplus position. The only issue that we are trying to address is a liquidity position, which your trustees, through the chair, have very well ably commented on the actions that they are taking to be able to address that. The smaller scheme is also well managed, proper governance structures in place, no unremitted contributions, as the director said. There's only one area of improvement, which is on investments. The strategy that is in place seems to be outdated, and I believe that's something that trustees can quickly pick up on. Otherwise, thank you very much for your attention, and I also wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, gentlemen, and the Regulator Retirement Benefits Authority. Let's appreciate them one more time. Thank you so much for that report and presentation. May I now invite our CEO and Secretary, Telposta Pension Scheme, Mr. Peter Rotich, to come and deliver to us statements of the report, and then we can have further discussions after his presentation. A warm round of applause for Mr. Peter Rotich. Thank you.
Hamjambo wastaafu. Okay, jambo. Good morning. Indeed, it's a great pleasure to have you here. We were last here in May. Yeah, it was this year, May, and we did promise that we shall hold our AGM at least before the end of 6 months after the release of the financial statements. I do believe you received the agenda item. All of us have the agenda item with us? You do have the agenda items. We have had the opening remarks. We have had the report on the recent changes in the retirement benefit sector. I would like us to confirm the minutes of the AGM for the financial year ended 30th June 2024. I want a proposer and a seconder. I would like to confirm that we sent the minutes to our members immediately after the AGM that was held between May and June. The legislation requires us that we send the minutes at least before 3 months after the holding of the AGM. And you received it on mail. There is one also which was circulated as you entered. Let us take it as read. I would like to confirm that we had over 1,396 members who attended the AGM across the country. May I have a proposer and a seconder? PF, please, and your name. We have microphones with us. A proposer, yeah, I can see a gentleman at the right hand side there. Give him the microphone, please.
Good morning. My name's Saif Slim Timami. My PF number is 26082. I propose to confirm the minutes of 30th June 2024 as per deliberated in that year.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Yes, you do. On your left, sir.
My names are Gregory Martin Orego. My PF number is 24183. I second.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we continue, thank you, we'll go to the next agenda item. Allow me to recognize the presence of my colleagues in the entire pension industry, not my service providers, but my colleagues in the entire pension industry, from APTAC, from ARBS, from PSSF, from CPF. May you be upstanding so that you are recognized for having joined us. My friends and colleagues in the sector, thank you. Thank you for representing PSSF. That's Angela. Mwangangi, thank you from APTAC. Nzau, thank you, Chair ARBS. Most welcome. This gentleman here needs no introduction. He's the guru. He drives the industry. He's the president of APTAC, Dr. Jose Akili, senior counsel. Congratulations, Kili. My other colleagues from the industry, I will be introducing them as they come over. Our service providers, not the main ones, of course, we have other service providers across. Yes, our governance expert, all the policy documents that you see us referring to in the industry, in our pension scheme is the expert, Calvin Nyachoti from Anchorage, formerly Calcott Management Services. Welcome, Calcott. Our service providers, I can see our lawyers. Steve Gikera from Gikera and Vatkama Advocates. Thank you for joining us. Wakili, I call him Wakili, Kitur from Kitur LLP. Thank you, welcome. Any other of our service providers? Yes, our members. These are the people whom we rely on to drive our industry. Our chair did introduce our past trustees. That is Josphas Owio, Simon Banya, Henrix Katema, Manuel Ndeleko, Gabriel Chepkwon, Rachel Mwendia, Johnston Asienga Ebole, John Peter Mdhune. I have a senior trustee, one of the longest serving trustees. May he be upstanding. I don't have to mention his name, he knows himself. And all of you know him. Benson Okwaro is among the founding trustees who laid the foundation for this scheme. Welcome, Benson Okwaro. We appreciate your attending this AGM. I will take you very fast through, if we can project it, if you may project it, the report from the Administrator Trust Secretary with respect to the pension scheme as well as the Provident Fund. I will move very fast for the sake of time. How many members do we have in the scheme? We have a total, both the scheme and the fund, we have a total of 7,650 made up of pensioners in receipt of a monthly pension. That is inclusive of those who are not receiving at the moment. You remember the head of the civil service and secretary to the cabinet said, I sometimes strike them off the payroll. Inactive pensioners, over 1,000. When they don't fill life certificates, it's not that we want to delete them. It's part of maintaining governance. So total number of pensioners who are supposed to be in receipt of a monthly pension, 6,737. Those in the Provident Fund, 913. So total membership, 7,650. That is as of 30th November 2025. Our oldest pensioner, you recall our PS, Isaboke, said we have persons who are over 90 years old. From our statistics, our pensioners who are over 90 years are 100 plus. Our oldest was born on the 23rd December 1926. The youngest was born in 1973. We do visit these old pensioners. We visit them, and we started this as part of corporate social responsibility. We started in February. We went to Voi. That gentleman was 96 years old. We have gone up to the oldest female pensioner, Bliss Wagaki. She was born, we visited her on the 2nd of August this year. She was born in 1938. She's from Karatina. Members, I still urge you to fill your nomination of beneficiary forms. We have 139 members who have never returned it. You give a hard task to the trustees when you get promoted upstairs. Now, we have pensioners who are inherited from the Kenya Post and Telecommunication. There are some who have not given us their documents. We just received, and they've been earning a pension. We have been writing to them. As at now, outstanding proof that they were in employment are 6. We deleted them from the payroll until they proved that they were actually in employment. You had our chief guest mention about enrollment in SHIF. Please, I urge the members to enroll. Those who have enrolled are only 600. There are those who are in NHIF and they have not joined SHIF. There are 639. Now, there are those, it's very encouraging. There are those ones who are not in NHIF, but have since joined SHIF. Those who are 138. Please, your health is very important. We do facilitate you to enroll by just telling us you want to enroll. You give us your documents, and thereafter you get covered. We normally give you statistics regarding the deaths. As at November 2025, we had 43 number of deaths. We every year advertise names of our members who have not come to claim their benefits. For defined benefits, let me assure you, we will not take our benefits to UFA. We have always had an engagement with UFA, and we tell them defined benefits is a promise. We can't take that benefit to UFA. We have written to UFA severally and told them we need an engagement for them to appreciate the meaning of a defined benefit arrangement. It's a promise, and depending on the manner in which you exit, that promise buys a benefit, and we can't take it to UFA. So we encourage UFA to come to the industry and engage the industry. We have engaged them. We have not been receiving positive response. Thank you. Headcount. Not only do we rely on the life certificates, we rely on headcounts. There are those members whom we have not verified. We deleted them from the payroll. Once they come back, we shall reinstate them. The number is 298. Our members always talk about pensions in payment is not enough. The average pension that we remit to your accounts is 11,980. The highest between those ones of 0 to 5,000 Kenya shillings per month, there are 1,465 members. Those ones above 40,000 Kenya shillings from the projection, those are 87 members. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my presentation. Once again, thank you for watching. There are those who are watching us live on television, Citizen and KBC. There are those who are streaming. Thank you for watching us, and also our members who are here with us. At this juncture, allow me to call upon the next speaker. MC, take over. Thank you so much. I always request for a clap. Thank you.
Thank you once again for our Secretary and CEO, Mr. Peter Rotich. Once again, a round of applause for our CEO. Asante sana. The next speaker I'd like to invite to follow through with the report that has just been shared by our CEO, to give the actuary remarks, to underscore messages from also the main speakers who have been here today. Let me now invite Mr. James Olubai, who is the Executive Director, Zamara Actuaries and Consultants. Makofi kwake as he comes on stage. Karibu sana.
the CEO of Telkom Kenya, who is basically the sponsor. Thank you very much for inviting me here to speak to your members today. I think I'll begin by basically thanking the Head of Public Service for being in attendance, the PS in your ministry also, and then the Board of Trustees, and then all the members who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak at this AGM today. I'm representing our company called Zamara, and this is a very important thing for us to basically convey to you some of the numbers which underlie what Mr. Rotich has basically been talking about. As Zamara, we've been involved with this scheme since its establishment in 1997, and it's very nice to see Mr. Kwaro here. We've walked the journey with him for a very, very long time, and we are privileged to have walked this journey with you. Over the years, the scheme has undergone very, very many changes, significant evolution, and in 2007, the scheme was closed to new members. And part of the reason why that was basically closed to new members was because of the movement from defined benefit to defined contribution. So as we speak now, the scheme has basically three types of members: pensioners, dependents of those pensioners, and those who are deferred pensioners. Now, also coming in that 2007 was a provision that said for all pensioners, there will be a pension increase which will be 3% every year, an automatic pension increase of 3% every year. And then for the deferred ones, it basically said that you will have an automatic increase of 4% per year when in deferment. I'll say a little bit about that a little later on. But over the years, we've continued to conduct periodic actuarial evaluations of this scheme, basically to look at its assets, to look at the liabilities, and to look at how the financial health is, and also to determine what surplus that is available. The most recent actuarial evaluation was undertaken as of 30th June 2023. There's another one due basically next year, in June next year. Now, some of the statistics is what Peter Rotich has shared up there in terms of the membership and in terms of the total pensions that people are actually receiving. Now, the total pensions people are receiving at that time were basically just under 900 million a year, just about $1 billion a year. And the important point to mention here is that a large number of the pensioners were earning a pension of about 4,000 shillings every month. Although the average pension is about 10,000 per month, but a large number of people were basically earning a pension of 4,000 a month. We are in discussion with the trustees and also the management of Telkom to see what we can do around that. There are innovative things that can be done, particularly subject to the disposal of the property. One of those things, if the property is successfully disposed, is to try and sort of put a minimum pension that is higher than the 4%, sorry, the 4,000 that most people are currently on. There are a few people who are actually earning 3,000. And one of the areas that we'll basically be looking at quite aggressively would be to try and move the minimum pension to a reasonable number, which will be a number well beyond that 4,000 every month. In terms of the investment portfolio, this has been talked about by almost all the speakers that were here. Head of Public Service, Chief Guest basically emphasized on this one. And I think it's important to say that over 80% of the assets of this scheme are basically in property. You then have some equities, which is about only 5%. Treasury bonds, another 16%. And fixed deposits, just under 1%. Then a few corporate bonds. Now, in terms of the property, there has been a process that has been taking quite a long time, and the view is that we dispose all the property to liquidate those assets so that we can get liquid assets to make sure that we can pay pensions and increase the pensions, and also try and make sure that we earn much better returns than what the property was giving. Now, Telposta Towers, for the valuation that we carried, had a conservative market value of about 6.5 billion shillings, and then all the other properties put together is 5.4 billion. We live in a very unique country where it doesn't matter what good you want to do, there'll always be somebody who will try and stop you. The trustees are doing their best. There's quite a large number of people trying to stop the trustees from even selling property. Some people go to court, and
the trustees are really, really trying to fight that quite aggressively. You would even go to court, you get a court injunction, but when the trustees go and try and sell it, you'll find people blocking them, and it becomes quite a horrendous thing. So in my view, we've advised the trustees that as that is going on, it's quite critical that we focus on Telposta Tower, push the government as much as possible so that we can liquidate that. If we could liquidate that just one property, we'll end up with money which is more than 7 billion, which can then be invested and earn good returns, and from there we can actually improve the pensions of the members a great deal. As far as we are aware, I think everything has been done to basically achieve that. Chairman, my advice to you would be push the man who was sitting on that chair of yours very, very hard. If you try to push him very hard, I cannot see this thing going beyond June next year. So it's a matter of basically trying to push them very hard to see what can be done. Obviously, the reason why I say June next year is that their argument is that, oh, it was not in the budget and whatever it is. Assist them in making sure that we actually put in the budget. Assist them in making sure that they can get that bond that they basically want. And we just basically try and push it very, very hard and put all the pressure on him so that that can be done. In my personal view, Mukisukuma, it gets very difficult. Try your best to go until the head of state to try and basically make sure you get this done. Because once you do that one shot, it will really help you a lot. Having said that, there are other properties that people have expressed interest on. Try and do your best to basically make sure that these are basically liquidated to assist the members. In our view, if that is done, we then need to be very, very serious and say, look, what do we need to do to make sure that the members get very good pensions? It will be nice to come here, maybe not next year's AGM, but the following year's AGM, the year after next, to actually say that the minimum pension is 10,000. It will be a very, very good thing, but we need to work very hard. We are prepared to work with you. RBA is here with us, and they are have been very, very helpful. This scheme, when we did the last evaluation in June 2023, we arrived at the results that said that the assets we hold are 20% more than the liabilities that we hold. So if all of us took all our money, assume you all took all your money today, and say, look, give me all my money today until the time that I pass on or I die, there will be money left on the table, which will be basically 20% of that money. Now we are saying, look, it's quite an unfortunate situation that we are there, yet we are still paying some of our pensioners 4,000 shillings a month. So really, I think I cannot overemphasize the importance of us all working quite hard to try and unlock that particular one. And clearly a door has been opened. Those results reflect a very strong actuarial position. However, the significant portion of the assets in liquid assets like property is really the biggest challenge that needs to be addressed here. We have advised the trustees on the various strategies to address this asset liability mismatch, particularly the sale of those properties on open market values. Such sales will unlock the surplus and basically improve liquidity of the scheme. I wish to thank the National Treasury and National Government for their proposed purchase of Telposta Towers, but as I correctly say, it's not done until it's done. It's really now at the tail end that it becomes very, very important, and you have to basically apply all the effort that you can do to basically change this scheme. Once these sales are basically finished, we will continue doing another actuarial evaluation to basically try and make sure that we can give members meaningful pensions and meaningful pension increases. We remain committed to advising the trustees, the sponsor, on the best possible options to safeguard and enhance the welfare of the members of this scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention.
Once again, we appreciate Mr. James Olubai from Zamara Actuaries and Consultants. Thank you so much for your remarks. Distinguished retirees, distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, PKF Kenya is a leading firm of accountants and business advisors in East Africa and part of the global PFK network, which offers audit, tax advisory, and business solutions from its Kenyan offices in Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, and also Malindi. They serve private and public business with a focus on quality, personalized businesses with a focus on quality, backed by international resources. It was established in the region it's been established since 1964, and they provide comprehensive services from fraud investigation to tax guides, supporting clients success across the region. They have a regional presence, like I said, in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and even South Sudan. Mostly and importantly, they guide clients to success by acting as trusted advisors, offering innovative quality solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite now on stage to come and do a presentation on this pension scheme of Telposta pension scheme, as well as the Provident Fund. May I now invite on stage the audit manager, PKF Kenya LLP, Ms. Rachel Nzioka, to come and do her presentation. As she comes in, please let's appreciate her with a round of applause.
Our distinguished guests, Board of Trustees, retired trustees, members of the schemes, good morning. My name is Rachel Nzioka. I'll be taking you through the 2025 audited financial statements for the Provident Fund and the pension scheme, and thereafter read our opinion. We have a presentation, maybe they could put it up. So as the presentation is coming up, I'd like to give you the responsibility of the trustees and our responsibilities as your independent auditors. Members, to inform you, it is the responsibilities of the trustees to prepare the financial statements, and our responsibility as your independent auditor is to report to you on the financial statements prepared by the trustees, and also obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from any material misstatements. So now, members, let's go to the numbers. I know that's where you're really interested in. So in the numbers, membership, I'll start with the Telposta pension scheme. Membership, this is as at 30th June 2025. Active members, 5,598. Inactive, 895. Deferred members, 92. This brings our total membership as at June 2025 to 6,585. Now we will go to the statement of changes in net assets available for benefit, otherwise known as the statement of profit and loss. I'll start with the pension scheme. Members, you know there is no contribution, so benefits paid to members during the year 2025, 843 million, as compared to 1 billion in 2024. Return on plan investments. Plan investment income, 984 million, as compared to 940 million in the previous year. Investment management expenses, 19 million, as compared to 14 million in the previous year. Property management expenses, 550 million, as compared to 169 million in the previous year. So this brings our net plan investment income to 414 million, as compared to 755 million in the previous year. So if other income, 2 million as compared to 1.9 million in the previous year. Administrative expenses, 221.6 million as compared to 229 in the previous year, which brings this to 218.8 as compared to 227.7 in the previous year. Fair value gain on plan investment, 279 million as compared to 19 million in the previous year. Change in fair value of plan investment property, 125 million as compared to 236 million in the previous year. So total changes in fair value, 404 million as compared to 255 million in the previous year. So this brings our decrease in net assets available for benefit in 2025 to 242, 650, 912 million. If you add that to the net assets available at the start of the year, which was 14.7 billion, we get net assets available for benefits at the end of the year, 14.4 billion for the Telposta pension scheme. Next, we'll go to the statement of net assets available for benefits, otherwise known as the balance sheet. The 14 million is split into assets and liability. So assets, the breakdown is cash and bank, 7 million, receivable, 165 million, plan investment, 2 billion, plan investment property, 12.2 billion, property and equipment, 72 million, intangible assets, 7.9 million. So this brings our assets for the pension scheme to 15 15 billion. And if you less liabilities of 507, you get the net assets for the scheme to be 14.4 billion. So members, this is your analysis of your assets. As you can see, most of them are within limit, apart from the investment properties, which is above the RBA limit, and it had been mentioned before. This is for the Telposta pension scheme. So this is just a spread of your investment, which you can see 11% is in government security, and 83% is in investment properties, short-term deposit 3%, quoted 3%, corporate 0%, cash also negligible. So next we move to the Telposta Provident Fund. Membership at the start of the year, 492 members. Leavers, death in deferment 8, deferred maturity 83. So this brings our membership for Provident Fund to 401 members. Next, we will go to statement of changes in net assets available for benefit, otherwise known as the profit and loss for the Provident Fund. So for the Provident Fund, leavers during the year 2025, 38 million as compared to 46 million in the previous year. Return on plan investment, there's plan investment income, 167 million as compared to 144 million in the previous year. Investment management expenses, 4 million as compared to 3 million in the previous year. So this brings our net plan investments to 162 million as compared to 140 million in the previous year. Net plan investment income, administrative expenses, 9.6 million as compared to 7.5 million in the previous year. Fair value gain on plan investment, 186 million as compared to 3 million in the previous year. So this brings our net increase in net assets available for benefits for the Provident Fund to 300 million as compared to 88 million in the previous year. So if you add that to the net assets available for benefit at the start of the year, which is 1.2 B, you get net assets available for benefit at the end of the year for the Provident Fund, 1.5 B as compared to the 1.2 B in the previous year. So statement of net assets available for benefits, otherwise known as the balance sheet for the Provident Fund. The 1.5 billion is split into assets and liabilities. Assets comprise of cash and bank balances, 1.2 million. Receivables, 119 million. Plan investment, 1.3 billion. To bring this to 1.5 billion. If you less the liabilities, which are payables to service providers, 3 million, you get your net assets of 1.5 billion. So for the Provident Fund, every asset is within the RBA limits, so there is no one that is above the limits. So this next is the investment spread for TPF, which you can see 73% is in government security, negligible amount in corporate bonds, 2% in quoted shares, 7% in short-term deposits, and then negligible amount in cash and bank balances. So members, I'll go ahead and read our opinion. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of Telposta pension scheme and Telposta Provident Fund net assets available for benefits as at 30th June 2025, and of the changes in net assets available for benefits for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards and the Retirement Benefit Acts. So in short, members, this is to say we as your independent auditor, we gave a clean opinion, but we also put an emphasis of matter, which is in the financial statements that you have. Thank you, members.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rachel Nzioka. Once again, we appreciate your report and your advice as well. Distinguished retirees, distinguished members, fund management is a professional oversight and administration of investment vehicles like mutual funds, pension funds, or venture capital funds on behalf of the clients. The primary goal is, of course, to maximize returns and while managing risk effectively, leveraging the expertise of professional fund manager. The fund management allows individual or institutional investors like yourselves to benefit from the expertise of qualified financial professionals who continuously monitor market conditions as well as adjust portfolios. The client money is pooled together, which enables the diversification across a wide range of asset classes like stocks, bonds, and even real estate, etc., etc. That would be difficult for an individual investor to achieve on their own. Managers therefore develop clear investment strategies based on the fund's objectives and risk tolerance, and these strategies guide decisions about which assets to buy, hold, or sell. Today, here present, we are lucky to have two fund managers, and I'll be inviting the first fund manager, representing Corp Trust Investment Services Limited, the Managing Director, Mr. Nicholas Ithondega, to make his presentation. Karibu sana. Let's welcome him warmly, tafadhali. Asante. Karibu sana.
The Managing Director of Telcom Kenya, Mr. Mugo Kibati, Chairperson of the Telcom and Telposta funds, and my good friend, Mr. Julius Cheptioni, my senior members in the industry. I can see my good friend as well, Dr. Jose Akili, President of APTAC. We are licensed by RBA, so allow me to recognize my regulator, Mr. Jackson Godon, who is also the Director of Supervision, and also other scheme members, scheme service providers, and most importantly, scheme members. Hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Or as we say in the cooperative bank, God is good, and all the time. So member mine's a very easy report, and I think of my 22 years of experience, I think I've been with Telposta Bonerotich for over 15 years in the AGM. So when I see the chairperson talking about the money that is coming, we say, glory be to God. So mine is just a report to present on behalf of the fund managers. I am also privileged to be the chairperson of the Fund Managers Association. I'm the current serving chairperson. But here today, I am going to read a report on behalf of the fund managers who have been in service, providing providing service to the scheme through the Board of Trustees and, of course, the chairperson, and indeed on behalf of us members. So in office, we have had 3 fund managers in the last year that we are reporting, and I'll ask them just to stand for acknowledgement. So I'm reading this report on behalf of Gen Afric, Asset Manager, and we have Chairman Emeritus, MD Patrick Karaoke. A lot of applause for him quickly. On behalf of Old Micho as well, who have been in office, we have the Senior Investment Manager, Mr. Nicholas Sang, and thank you for coming as well. So on behalf of myself, as a Managing Director of Corp Trust, members, last year was very good in terms of numbers. We had good returns. Chairman Julius, we have a 45% return on stock market. So we are very happy as fund managers to be receiving money, Peter, when the stock market is up. And this year as well, as Rachel pointed out, the numbers were very good in terms of returns. We had over 1.4 billion investment gain. Previous year as well was very good. We had about 1.3 billion investment gain, which was quite commendable. But across the major parameters, and it's unfortunate the chief guest has left, we'd want to say thank you on behalf of the government, because for the last 2 years, to be honest, it was quite tough. As fund managers, our work is to look at the economy and where the money is being placed and make the right decision. And when the government took over, we were quite in a very tight spot. And they were able to navigate through the 2024 dynamics of even the Eurobond, which, remember, we were staring at almost a near default. And the government has done very well, and we must commend them for that navigation on that tough period. But last year, members, again, things have grown very well. And the numbers speak for themselves. I will not dwell too much into that. On the PowerPoint presentation, there was a slide that was talking about the market value, which again was shared by PKF as Rachel. And of course, the biggest thing for us is the 82% holding in property. And through that journey, as I was mentioned, for the last 15 years, we've walked a tremendous journey. For us to be here and to be seeing that we are getting towards the end, again, for us as fund managers, we are truly happy about that. In terms of the Telposta Provident Fund, which is a smaller fund, again, which is about 1.2 billion in terms of size, again, same scenario, has done very well in the last couple of 2 years in particular. Last year, numbers have been good. Your scheme year end closes in June. So already as we speak, we have visibility of the 6 months number through the board, through the chairperson. And even that, if you allow, Mr. Chairman, is also looking fantastic. We are dealing with almost close to another 10 to 12% return in 6 months going into the new year. And for us, we believe that will hold through quite well. So for me, it's just to say thank you for the services that we continue to offer. And indeed, Chairman, as you've promised, we continue putting you in prayer. We also sit in other boards, in central bank, MLF boards, and some of those matters in Telposta have been heavily discussed. So we believe the time is right, and it will actually come through, even in terms of issuance of special bonds, just to take care of some of those obligations. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Once again, Mr. Ithondeka, thank you so much. The Managing Director, Corp Trust Investment Services Limited, and his focus was on investment. The next fund manager I'd like to invite is the Managing Director, Gen Africa Asset, Mr. Patrick Kariuki, and I want him to come and share his focus on some of the investments and mainly real estate. As he comes in, let's welcome him with a warm round of applause. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick Kariuki, for making time to be here with us. Karibu sana.
The Chair, Board of Trustees, Secretariat, staff, and fellow service providers, kindly allow me, Chair, to ride on the established protocols. And I would also like to thank my colleague in the industry, Nicholas Ithondeka, who is my chairman at the Fund Managers Association, for presenting on all our behalfs. I will focus more on the property side, and I'm accompanied by my colleague, Chris Mwenda, who will be taking you through the finer details of it. But let me just give you one or two quotes first on property. Disposal of property by a retirement scheme is a bit like cleaning out your closet, except instead of finding old shoes, you are uncovering assets worth millions, and even in your case, billions. And yet some people are questioning why are you doing that, as stated by my colleague, James Olubai. So I'd just like to encourage the trustees and secretariat, let's keep on this journey. We are near the end. Unlocking value by selling the flagship Telposta, you'll get more than 7 billion. And as stated, this will unlock surpluses and improve liquidity, bring better returns, and bring better pensions for all. My second quote, I'll just say, on property disposal, we experts call it asset rebalancing. But to the average scheme member, all they want is a good return from this asset rebalancing. So let us all work together and rebalance our property portfolios. And with these short remarks, I'll hand over to my colleague, Chris Mwenda. And in case we don't meet after this, before Christmas, just take the opportunity on behalf of the board of Gen Africa to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous 2026. Allow me, Chair, to hand over to my colleague, Chris Mwenda. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, trustees, all protocols observed, good morning. I'll quickly take you through an update of what the scheme has been doing in the property portfolio. And I'll start with the Telposta Towers, where the disposal update has been given continuously here. It's the flagship development of the scheme, and we are happy to report that we have worked with the scheme in the disposal process, and we are noting the significant progress, only awaiting the final conclusion of this process. On the other properties, the Lot 1 properties, as the chair had put, we have already advertised, we have already received bids, and this is ongoing evaluation. And on the Jogoo and Gilgil flats, we're happy to report renovations have already ended, and we are happy that the units are now ready for tenanting, and the rents that they can now generate are higher. So very, very good progress within the year. And on the Gilgil flats, also happy to report that the evictions are successful, and now the units are ongoing renovations. So just to give a confirmation and comfort to the members that as the asset managers, we are working with the scheme to ensure that the property portfolio is properly being disposed and that all benefits are going back to you. Thank you.
Asante sana for those brief remarks. Distinguished retirees, distinguished members, your custodian is in the house today. Yeah, your custodian has had the distinct opportunity to securely hold and safeguard your financial assets that include stocks, bonds, cash, for you as clients, and acting as a neutral, independent guardian to prevent loss or theft of your benefits and your monies, while also handling related tasks like settlements, record keeping, and income collection, ensuring investor safety as well as transparency without making investment decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to put your hands together as we invite our custodian here today, the Kenya Commercial Bank, led by the Head Investor Services, KCB Kenya Limited, Ms. Florence Nduba, ACSI. Karibu sana, Ms. Nduba.
Good morning, members, distinguished guests. Allow me to write on the protocols already observed. My name is Florence Nduba from KCB Bank. KCB Bank is the custodian of the Telposta Pension Scheme and the Telposta Provident Fund. As your custodian, we are a key partner, and we ensure that your assets are fully safeguarded at all times. All the assets which you have had from your auditor and the fund manager, the government securities, the cash, the quoted equities, the property investments, and all supporting documents pertaining to those assets, including the title deeds, are all maintained at KCB Bank. And our mandate is to ensure that all those assets are in custody and are available for distribution as pension when that time comes for each and every member of the scheme. So members, mine is to thank you and the Board of Trustees for giving us the opportunity to serve you and to assure you that your assets are safe at KCB and will be available for payment of your pensions when the time comes. Thank you. We will be able to respond to any questions you may have at the appropriate time.
Asante. Thank you so much, Ms. Florence Nduba. And now I'd like to invite a trustee of Telposta Pension Scheme, Mrs. Rosebell Mbai, to come and do a presentation on the remuneration of the trustees. Karibu sana, Mrs. Rosebell Mbai. Karibu sana.
Good morning, or is it good afternoon already? I'll ride on the all protocols that have been observed. Mine is a very brief presentation regarding the remuneration for trustees. In other words, how the trustees are remunerated. The trustees' remunerations are regulated, and Regulation 7 of the retirement benefits, Regulation 2000, states that every scheme shall have rules which shall provide remuneration of trustees. Trust deed and rules of the Telposta Pension Scheme also provides that and states that a trustee shall be remunerated in such a manner as it may be agreed in writing from time to time between such trustees and the founder, who is Telkom Kenya. Now, there are rates that are approved for payments towards the various activities that govern the Board of Trustees. We have the rate for the chairperson, which is 40,000 per sitting. The legal advisor sitting allowance, 35,000. We have trustee sitting allowance for the full board meetings at 35,000 per sitting. The annual special general meetings is paid at 35,000 per sitting. We have the subsistence allowances for cities, those that have been declared cities, like Nairobi and the like, is 20,000. The daily subsistence allowance under the towns is 15,000. There's need for facilitation of travel allowance, and this is paid for a round trip of 8,000 Kenyan shillings. However, these allowances are subject to tax. The chair is taxed at the rate of 14,000 for that sitting allowance per day, and other trustees are taxed 12,500. The committees as well. The rate also attracts a tax of 12,500. There is an agreed meetings for the year. The Board of Trustees meetings is a maximum of 6 meetings in a year. Committee meetings is a maximum of 18 meetings in a year. For example, Telposta Pension Scheme has 3 committees, and these 18 meetings are divided between the 3 committees. So it is not only one committee that attracts the 18 meetings in a year. And meetings held in the financial year ending 30th June 2025, the scheme had 6 board meetings, and the committees held 17 meetings. Now, the meetings that have been held from 1st July 2025 to date, main board has held 2 meetings so far, and the subcommittees a total of 4 meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, with that short report, thank you for listening to me.
Distinguished members, distinguished retirees, I'd like to move on with our program, but very briefly just deviate a little bit from the program ili nimwalike mgeni mmoja ambaye napenda nimwalike kwa Kiswahili nione kama wasifu wake utatoshea kwenye lugha ya Kiswahili au namna gani, sivyo? Niseme kwa Kiswahili kidogo, sio? Asanteni sana. Sasa huyu bwana ambaye nataka kumwalika ni mwanzilishi na pia mwenyekiti na mweka amana wa wakfu ambao unafahamika kama Akili. Wakfu ambao umetumika katika kutoa kazi za hisani ama kufanya kazi za hisani kwa jamii. Wakfu ambao umekuwa toka mwaka 2011. Yeye na mkeo wakishughulika katika kazi za kila siku kuwasaidia wale ambao pengine hawajiwezi katika jamii, anawashika mkono. Aidha pia amehusika katika masuala ya usimamizi katika ngazi tofauti, taasisi tofauti. Pia ni wakili katika mahakama kuu hapa nchini Kenya. Ana stashahada ya uzamili na pia amesomea masuala mengi tu kutoka chuo ama taasisi ya Southern Africa. Na pia ana taji ambalo ni taji kubwa sana la kutajika kutoka taasisi ya makatibu waliohitimu katika shughuli za ukatibu, kwa kimombo inafahamika kama ICPSK. Aidha pia ni mshiriki wa chama cha mawakili hapa nchini. Katika huduma zake, shughuli zake za kila siku, amewahi kusimamia hazina na vile vile pensheni za kustaafu ama mafao ya wazee kwa muda mrefu. Kwa hivyo ana tajriba kuu katika eneo hilo. Kwa sasa hivi anatumika kama mwenyekiti ama anahudumu kama mwenyekiti wa eneo la Afrika Mashariki na Kati kuhusiana na masuala ya kulinda mafao na mapato ya uzeeni kwa wale ambao wamestaafu. Pia kwa sasa hivi anahudumu kama rais katika halmashauri ambayo inawaleta pamoja wote ambao wanaweka amana katika masuala ya mafao na mapato yanayotokana na kustaafu au uzeeni maarufu APTAC. Naomba tafadhali mchukue fursa hii tumpigie makofi, tumwalike Daktari Jose Akilu. Si mgeni kwenu. Nafikiri nyote mnamfahamu. Yeye alikuwa nafikiri anashangaa anamwalika nani, ni yeye tu. Makofi kwake tena. Karibu sana.
Asante sana mpasha habari. Members of our Telposta pension and provident fund schemes, the distinguished trustees and other leaders who are with us here, good afternoon. Sikutarajia nitaongea na nyinyi, nilikuwa nimealikwa nishuhudie tu vile mnafanya nini mkutano wenu, si ndio? Kwa hivyo, lakini nafasi nimepewa na ndugu yangu Peter ambaye na taamini sana, somebody I value, and we are very respectable members of our industry. Hii pensheni ni industry na ni kubwa. Wakati mwingi ama most times the leaders have never really appreciated the pension industry, but I just want to confirm, and I think our regulator being here, is that this is an industry which is growing in size. Saizi tumeweza kuwekeza ama to save more than 2.5 or so trillion Kenya shillings. So tupige makofi industry yetu. Na shukuri kwamba Telposta pension scheme ni mdhamini sana wa Association of Pension Trustees and Administrators of Kenya, ambayo sisi pamoja na trustees wenye wa hii Telposta tulishughulika pamoja miaka ya zamani kidogo kuianzisha. And the reason why we started APTAC ni kwa sababu tuliona trustees wanatakana wapate nafasi yao ya kuongea na kuangalia maslahi ya pension schemes yote pamoja na administrators wao, kwa sababu trustees na administrators wao kama trust secretary and so forth ni kama kanda na pete, si ndio? Huwezi kupata moja na kukosa ile ingine. So Chairman, I'm very happy to be here. Mimi naona kwamba mnaendelea vizuri na kuna historia ambayo pension scheme hii is similar to ile mina chunga inaitwa Lab Trust. Lab Trust, I think, is the oldest pension scheme in the country apart from the National Treasury one, because we were born in 1929. I don't know whether you were born then as a scheme, not as a person. I think I heard of one of the members here being quite old. I don't know. And I'm saying that is really wonderful. I still have pensioners for Lab Trust actually not living in Kenya. They live in foreign countries because they retired in 1963. A few of them are still alive. And I have visited them occasionally in London and some places in Canada and in India. But one of the things I want to speak about is the unfortunate low rates of pension, or the amounts of pension you have, our members who are in these old arrangements are paid. And I'm happy that finally, Rotich, I know you've been sharing the challenges of your scheme, of the illiquidity, that finally you have gotten the government approval to actually liquidate your assets. And your members must appreciate it. It's good to have liquidity. It's good. And I'm sure when you get it, which I hope it will be very soon, that liquidity should be converted to real investments, and members should benefit. In Lab Trust, when I started running that institution, our members were earning as low as 500 shillings per month. Ridiculous, isn't it? But I want to say that, and we worked with Olubai here. I think Olubai is a rock of ages in this industry. He actually, at one time, I think he served as a trustee in Lab Trust. Yeah. So we worked and we managed to, right now we are operating at a minimum pension of, I think, 5,000 to 6,000, I think, for our pensioners. And we have roughly about 10,000 pensioners in our defined benefit scheme. But we intend, and we are in the same journey with you, we have so much unlimited contribution from the former local authorities, which have, of course, been taken over by the current counties. We are really pushing, just like you are doing, to recover that money so that we can give our pensioners decent pension, including indexed monthly pensions. Indexed means it made automatic as to align with inflation. And that is what we as a APTAC, as we are industry leader and representative, is pushing, so that as a policy, all these schemes which are in defined benefit as they are actually being retired should actually adopt a policy of indexation, which means it's an automatic pension increase, and employers should therefore be obligated, because they are the ones who take care of those aspects, to meet those obligations. I know when I'm talking to an employer like my friend Mugo, she might not be very comfortable with it, but I say that was the intention at the beginning. When you set up the defined benefits many years ago, the intention was that you will make these people have the same lifestyle in retirement as they were having when they were working. So are you meeting your obligation, Bwana Mugo? You need to meet. Equally the same with Posta. I know there have been challenges in Posta, but I think the journey is also the same. I am happy that our country or our leadership has now recognized that pension is an important ingredient of fiscal management, so that people can be given the right thing. You know, sometimes people forget when you are in their offices, they almost literally forget that they will also retire. So I normally caution ourselves, and I caution our senior leaders to be very careful about the kind of policies they put in place for pension. Everybody must pass through that journey. And it is important that we remember to take care of those who have gone ahead of us. So with those remarks, on behalf of APTAC, and as I said, I think, Mwangangi, please stand up, because I also want you to recruit our trustees here and other members who want to be part of APTAC as an association. That's the man to see, okay? So all trustees of these two schemes here, please kindly be active members of the association. And I now, Chepchon, I've now marked you. I've marked you. Join us. Some of us are retiring very soon. So, tunataka watu wa kuchukua hii kazi, si ndio? Kindly join. Peter, I will not forgive you if you don't bring these leaders. As the other ladies I saw here. So, with those remarks, allow me to say thank you, congratulations for holding a very wonderful AGM. Asanteni sana.
Daktari Hosea Akilu, asante sana. Tupigie tena makofi Daktari Hosea Akilu, mawaidha yake, mazungumzo yake. Hai, nafululiza kwa Kiswahili kidogo, alafu nitabadilisha tena nizungumze lugha ambayo wengi tunaifahamu hata kule nyumbani. Wajua kuna wengi wanatazama sasa hivi aidha kwenye mitandao, kwenye runinga, wanaona kwamba hapa kuna wastaafu wanafikiria pengine vile wana mvi ama nyele nyeupe, pengine wanafikiria timiri umekwenda sana, hawafanyi mazoezi, hawachungi afya zao. Mimi nataka tuwaonyeshe kwamba huo mnachunga afya, au sio? Maana Mwenyezi Mungu amewajalia afya toka ujana, amewajalia afya nzuri zaidi toka uzeni. Hem, tusimame kidogo tuwaonyeshe kwamba tuna afya nzuri, wengine tumetembea kutoka mbali. Mzee wangu, hebu njoo kidogo. Njoo kidogo tu. Njoo kidogo. Huyu mzee wangu atoka, hebu ulisema watoka wapi mzee wangu? Atoka Voi, Taita Taveta, sio? County. Niulize, huwa wafanya mazoezi?
Kila siku.
Wafanya mazoezi. Sasa. Hai, siwaona hao wenzako wote wana umri kama wewe. Nataka waonyeshe mazoezi mawili matatu tu. ili watu watuone kwamba tuko na afya nzuri. Kabla tuite mgeni mwingine kuzungumza.
Kwa kazini, Bwana Uguya ndio alikuwa anatupanisha mazoezi, kwa mwambie aje.
Nani huyo? Mr. Uguya. Uguya. Mr. Uguya ndiye alikuwa anafanya mazoezi. Yuko wapi Mr. Uguya? Njoo tafadhali. Lazima watu waone tuna afya hapa. Lazima mazoezi tu kidogo tu, dakika 2-3 tunyoshe viungo, halafu tuendelee hata katika kustaafu. Huyu ndio leader wa mazoezi. Haya, wacha tumuone akipanda ngazi mwenyewe tu. Makofi bwana Uguya.
Amen. Ni salamu.
Umetokea sehemu za?
Mimi natoka sehemu za Nyanza kule.
Nasikia ulikuwa hodari sana kwa mazoezi. Tuwaonyeshe watu kwamba bado umri mdogo, bado nguvu tunazo.
Wacha niwasalimie. Bwana asifiwe sana. I'm so happy to be here. Basi ni ile tu mazoezi kidogo. Tayari. Open yourselves kidogo. Hivyo. Pata nafasi. Haya, twende. Moja naenda chini, rudi. Sawa?
Mara ngapi? Mara ngapi? Wajua usiwakwaze wengine. Tuambie tu tuenda mara ngapi?
Mara 10.
Wengine wape 3, wengine 5.
Okay, tutaenda tu wale ambao hawajafika 5.
Sawa. Haya.
Lakini tutaenda mpaka 10.
Haya, sawa. Haya.
Twende basi.
Haya.
1 2 3 4 5.
Tosha. Wajua kuna wengine hawajajiandikisha kwa SHA. Itakuwa ama itabidi wachukue pension yao sasa tuwapeleke hospitali. Hatutaki. Ya mwisho, atuonyeshe nyingine ya mwisho. Rahisi tu.
Haya, nataka kuona kama hii inaweza kupanuka kidogo. Jaribu tu. Haya. Sawa. Haya, twende hivi. 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Hii ni rahisi Haya, sawa. Asante sana. Makofi kwa wangwana. Asante sana. Tukae tafadhali. Nimefanya makusudi ili tuzungumzie hali za afya hasa wakati wa kustaafu. Manake unakuja wakati kama huo, sio? Kwa hivi sasa nataka nimuite Miss Patricia Kiwanuka aje atupe ufafanuzi tu kiasi, kwa sababu shirika lenu limekuwa na umuhimu wa kuzingatia afya wakati wa uzee, kuzingatia jinsi mnavyoishi wakati wa kustaafu na kadhalika. Miss Patricia Kiwanuka, tafadhali. Tumeanzisha mazoezi, sijui kama utatufanyisha mengine ama namna gani, lakini karibu sana. Makofi kwake Miss Kiwanuka tafadhali.
Asante sana. Pensioners, habari zenyu? Bwana Katema, it's good to see you. I saw Kwaro has disappeared. You know, now I know people. Pensioners, stand up. Pensioners only, simameni. Pensioners wa Telposta, naona Mwangange amesimama lakini sawa. Pensioners only. I want you to, where's the camera, Nimrod? I want you to wave to the people at home, they see how beautiful you look. Wasalimie wale wako nyumbani gani? Ni wave kwa gani? Kamera ni gani ni wave? Uko wako. Okay, wave anywhere. Zunguka kidogo. Salimia watu, chair. Turn around. Look at your people. Sasa kaeni chini. Asanteni sana. You look amazing. Salamu kwanu, nyinyi VIPs leo. I'll do no other protocol for the rest of the team. I have a presentation on health. Na nimeambiwa nijaribu niongee English, Kiswahili, Kikuyu, Chinglish, nitajaribu zote. So tuongea mambo, you have a flyer with you, ya wellness, so nitajaribu kufuatilia na hiyo. Presentation? Haipo. Haya, tutaendelea basi. Mbele yako una hiki kitabu kimeandikwa Financial Wellness in white and green. You can follow along. In white and green. Tunataka kuongelea mambo matano. A well-balanced life, 5 things. Ya kwanza, bio, your physical health. Nimeona mmefanya mazoezi, mmefanya exercise, physical health. Ya pili, mental health. Tutaongea mambo ya social, spiritual na mambo ya pesa. So ya kwanza, physical health. Naomba angalia miguu zako. Uangalie miguu zako, si uniangalie. Your legs. You can see your legs. They brought you here today, si ndio? They helped you walk. Aging starts from there. Tuko sawa? Hii kwa white, wakati nilianza kufanya hii kazi na Peter, which was 2020 wakati wa COVID, I didn't have white hair. Sasa nimeanza kuziona. Hapo nikageuka nikaangalia huyu mama and she's got beautiful hair. It's Angry says, beautiful hair. Hebu muangalieni. And then I asked myself, look at her. If you saw her exercising, she was fully fit. Alikuwa anainua mikono. Aging does not start with the nywele. Itaanza huko chini. We're on the next slide, please. So aging starts with your legs. So akina mama tafadhali, as you get older, we start becoming lazy. We start refusing to move. Na waomba tafadhali, mchunge mambo ya kutembea. Take time to move, take time kutembea. Kuna mzee alikuwa pale Embu wakati tulitembea, tulifanya the first ya hizi talks. Alikuja akaniambia ameanza kutembea kila siku kwa sababu nilimwambia atembee. And his blood pressure and other things started going down. So tupande juu kidogo. Ukifika hapo tafadhali, prostrate wanaume. Mwende kanungo si majoni wapi? Mwende mfanya nini? Check your prostate. Go for your medicals. It is important even for us as women. Why? Tunaanza kusikia mambo ya cancer. If you hold cancer early, you can get treated in time. By the time tufike huku juu, towards your hands, your head, I'll talk about the brain shortly, but it is important you also take time to exercise your whole body. Si hapo nimesema ukweli? So chunga nini? Mwili wako. God gave you your body and you only have one body. Ya pili. Next slide. You must take care of those things. Ikuwa ulikuwa umezoea kula sausage, uanze kubadilisha. Siku hizi tunaona unga inafanywa vizuri. Start taking your porridge, take your calcium, take your supplements. Sio tunaenda hospitali kuambiwa we ni mgonjwa. Saa zingine unaenda hospitali kuambiwa pia you're in good health. Your annual wellness must be done. Look at your food, look at your exercise. Na ya mwisho hapo nimeandika nini? Kulala. One of the men we met, one of the ones we've talked about, Wallace. Wakati tulifanya training Nakuru, Wallace was 96, I think. Alisema the first thing he invested in is a bed. Kwa sababu alisema he realized alikuwa analala kwa sitting room, anasahau kwenda kwa kitanda, and then his back gets a problem. So unaona hizi vitu ziko contained. Sasa tuendelee next. Nataka kuongea mambo ya akili. As you get older, your brain starts to, isn't that scary? Kanaanza kufanya nini? But your brain is also what? Elastic. You must exercise your brain. When we were in Machakos, we walked into the room, nikapata Bwana Okwaro doing a crossword. Na nikamuuliza, he said every day, if he buys the newspaper, he does a crossword. Sai kwa simu zako, you can do word puzzles. You can do Sudoku. Exercise your brain. If you don't exercise your brain will shrink. Now, also be kind to yourself. As you get older, kale ka notebook kadogo unaandika notes zako, beba. Why? You don't need to be told umesahau. Write your own notes. And more importantly, I'm very impressed with this group. Wakati tulianza tulikuwa tunasumbuka, how do we log to Zoom? How do we do, SMS? Today, I can assure you, Chair, my members here are logged in, they are doing Zoom, na wanajua SMS. Why? They are practicing. So thank you. Take your time as you're older to process information at your speed. Take your time to learn new things. Do not feel like you're disabled. Aging, all of us tumeambiwa na akili tutafanya nini? Tutazeeka, si ndio? When I started talking here, I used to be, I don't know, I started my age kwanza, I'm on TV. I'm still young. Next. Next, social. Tafadhali. This network of people, ikukutana, knowing people. Leo I'm sitting next to James Olubai. Olubai was my boss in, again, I won't say my age. He was my first boss. Today we are friends. Your social network, the people you talk to, if you're young, so for example, I look at Madam Bai here. If you're a young person, reach out to older people. Why? They mentor you. Sindio? Wako na mawaidha ambayo wewe haujui. Na wewe kama mzee, go to your church, your fellowship, your choirs. Get involved socially. Sijasema uende ukunywe pombe mingi sana, lakini sijasema ukunywe kidogo. Find what? Balance. Naona wamekubaliana hapo. But more importantly, do what? Give back. Mko na wajukuu, there are these Gen Zs, there are other people around you. Educate us. Let us grow into the place we should be. Ya mwisho nitaongea hapa ni spiritual. Sijasema kanisa, nimesema spiritual. Whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Catholic, it's okay. As you get older, one of the gentlemen we met in Kwale, he was one of the older ones, I think he's called Hassan. When I sat with him, ya kwanza aliniambia is my dear, wakati unazeeka, ujue kuna nini? Kuna Mungu. Na kila siku ukiamka, Mungu ndio anakupatia hiyo uhai. You breathe because of God, you function because of God. And he was very calm. Umeona mzee tu ametulia vizuri. Na pesa yake ilikuwa ngapi? Hizo pesa mnasikia kidogo. Nikamuuliza, are you comfortable? Akasema hii kidogo ni yangu. Kwa sababu ndio Mungu amenipatia. So remember to be grateful. The worst thing we are hearing now kwa wazee is we are starting to hear kwa medical that wazee wana commit suicide. Kwa nini? Lack of gratitude. Living a life of regret. So check yourself, go for walks. Mbona hapo nimesema nature walk. Ukitaka kwenda Mombasa, tembea kidogo. Ikiwa uko kwa shamba, tembea kidogo. Ukitoka kwa kina Rotich, tembea na your cows. It is important to exercise yourself. Finally, 2 more, then I'll be done. There are special groups we have to remember. There are people who lose their loved ones. That group of people need extra care. Ikiwa unajua mtu amepoteza either bibi ama bwana, reach out to them. Waongeleshe. Usimwachilie kwa sababu pia every jioni anakuja nyumbani yule mtu alikuwa anaongea sasa hayuko. Reach out to them. Cause kuna mmoja alikuwa anajua nguo nikiamka they find themselves there. Sijui nguo zinatokanga wapi. Anajua tu zinakoanga. Kuna mwingine anajua my money is taken care of. Please reach out to those special groups and pay attention to them. Finally, your money. Leo tumeongea mambo ya pesa on the next slide. As you get to retirement, you can still save some money, number 1. But number 2, manage expenses. Retirees especially, manage expenses from your adult children. When I talk at times, unapata retiree, ulifanya kazi, sasa una educate grandchildren na great grandchildren, na pesa yako haito, unaingia stress. Now if you die, utakufa uache na nani? Unaona vile you can cause your own problems. Manage your expenses, know what they are. I'm not saying do not help, but also help in a way that is well managed. Check where your income is coming from and diversify your income. Sitaongea mambo hizo zote. Lakini ile moja the chief guest amesema ni number 1. Your pension is guaranteed. One of the people told us he loves getting his small pension kwa sababu anajua pale kwa kijiji he can be given credit at any time. And the final slide I'll talk to is medical cover. Tumeongea mambo ya SHA, SHIF. Please, if you have not taken medical cover and you're here, please come and see the Secretariat team. Come and talk to us. It is important that you strengthen your medical cover. So with that, nataka kusimamisha hapo na nirudi sasa kwa Nimrod. Asante sana.
Asante sana. The Managing Director, Revenue Stream Limited. Asante sana. And now we're coming to a close towards the end of our program for today. I'd like to invite back on stage our Secretary, CEO, Telposta Pension Scheme, to lead us in this program where we'll be discussing with you, our members, and get the opportunity, hopefully, for a question and answer, guided, of course, by the CEO. Karibu sana, Mr. Peter Rotich.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We did ask our members to give us the questions we would like to respond to when we advertised, when we gave notice for the AGM. I do hope also we continue receiving the questions. We will respond to the questions that come later. we should stop at exactly 12:30. But allow me, we did receive 7 written questions that was sent to us. As soon as I finish those 7 questions, we will go to the vote of thanks. And our trustee, Ignatius Wamalwa, will give us a vote of thanks. PF 26456, Agri James Opio Anyango. He did ask a question regarding affordable medical cover apart from SHA or shift cover for outpatient needs. He indicates that SHA cannot cover for outpatient in level 6 hospitals where they have consultant. What's the answer from Telposta pension scheme? The trust deed and rules of Telposta pension scheme does not provide for a medical cover at the moment. The pension scheme does not manage shift contributions directly. We, as a board, encourage members to enroll so that we deduct at source. It's easier to deduct at source your monthly pension and remit it to the shift. Now, when you have a formal complaint regarding the administration of that amount that has been remitted, we encourage members to visit the nearest offices. I know most of you still relate to the old name, the NHIF offices. We request you to visit those offices. They will handle those administrative questions. The other question that Agri James Opio asked is, increase the monthly pension. The current one is too little to cater for your daily needs. That's a good question. Why are you not clapping for him? Thank you. At inception, my response is this. At inception, when the trustees took over, and thank you, the founding trustees who are here, we are honored to have Owio. Owio, when you started this scheme, the minimum pension was 100 shillings. Jose Akili said theirs was 500 shillings. Thank you, Owio. You increased it to 500 shillings on the 1st of July 1999, and subsequently you increased it to 773, and in 2007, as part of the restructuring of Telcom, you increased it to 1,500. That was on the 1st of July 2000. Another item that was put in is a guaranteed 3% annual increment. A guaranteed. It's in your trust deed and rules. Very few pension schemes in our country have a guaranteed pension increase. Very few. Our actuary normally tell us that there are very, very few. Other schemes actually have after every 2 years or after every 3 years, there's an increment, automatic increment after every 3 years. For Telposta pension scheme, and thank you to the founding trustees, you ensured that it was ingrained in the trust deed and rules. You get a 3% annual increment. The theme for today's pension, if you heard right from the chair, was we are looking forward to review this pension in payment. And the actuary has emphasized that they appreciate it's little, but once we unlock the property portfolio, the pensions shall be reviewed. I repeat, once we unlock the property portfolio, there shall be a review of the pension in payment. Now, the other thing why your pension is low, members, especially those who left after 8th of June 2005, they had this tendency of taking their contribution. When the law again was changed in 2010, they came and took another amount. When now they reached retirement age and subsequently took a third, they had already taken a big chunk of their pension. If you had left without taking your contribution and also the further benefit payments in 2010, your pension would be higher. Question number 3 from the same gentleman. They need transport and refunds when attending annual general meeting. You normally ask that question. We normally say paying members to attend the AGM and provision of transport is at the moment not possible and would be difficult to justify because it's not in our trust deed and rules. That is why we did encourage members that those who are willing to come to KICC, you may do so. For those who will not have transport, sit at the comfort of your house and watch it live at KBC or Citizen TV. Bonus payments. Members, if you look at our trust deed and rules, it does not provide for bonus payment. It's a discretion. It's not provided for, but once liquidity has improved, with the advice of the actuary, the trustees will definitely go to the sponsor, and if the sponsor is not comfortable with that, the sponsor has a right to say no, because it's not in the trust deed and rules. But if we have actually liquidated a bulk of our property portfolio, we are on that journey, the actuary will advise on the type of reviews they will recommend, either one-off or an annual increment. Dependents pension might go up from 5 to 7 years or 10 years or forever. Minimum pension might go up to over 5,000. So we are looking forward, we are on that journey. Enos Kagiri, he says there was news item in the newspapers early this year to the effect that the cabinet had approved the sale of Telposta Towers to be bought by government. I think that has been answered in our talk from the chair, from the PS, and everyone who spoke here, that we have been in engagement and we want to ensure we hand over that building to the government, but for good value. Catherine Boyane Olo Aringo, what is the current status of dividend distribution for pensioners for the financial year ended 30th June? Dividend distribution. The answer is dividend distribution is not provided for in a pension scheme. This is not a SACCO. This is not an investment club. At the moment, the trustees will continue to make payments of pension as and when they fall due without any undue delay. Another question that Catherine asked was, are there any changes expected in the payout schedule for pensioners in the upcoming financial year? Payout schedule? So far, none. You will continue earning your monthly pension payment. We will give you the annual 3% increment. And before we close for Christmas, we'll give you the pension payday schedules for 2026, which we'll release before we close. The other question from Catherine is, how is the scheme ensuring sustainability of funds, specifically to secure pensioners' benefits in the long run? A very good question. Our response is that the scheme's assets are invested across a variety of asset classes, including government securities, quoted equities, fixed deposits, corporate bonds, and real estate, that is investment in properties. This diversification is intended to optimize returns while managing risks to ensure sufficient funds remain to meet pension liabilities and provide liquidity when required. We have an investment policy statement. You can download it on the web. You should be able to read it. What measures are in place? That's another question. What measures are in place to communicate clearly with pensioners about their entitlement or any changes? I would like to confirm to the members that we have communication channels via emails, via SMS, via post office boxes. We also have websites. We do have bulletins. And in case of any queries, members, we encourage you to write to our officers, reach out to us. We have an open door policy. We will respond to any of your questions. Another question, can the scheme provide a summary of the investment performance and its impact on pensioners? Yes, if you look at the financial statements, we normally have asset categories like property. We also have government securities. We have quoted equities, fixed deposits, cash, corporate bonds, and all that, when it's totaled, goes to 14.7 billion Kenya shillings. The percentage holding also is indicated in our financial statements. You will get it both for the pension scheme and for the provident fund. Latifa Shiban Shiragin. She says she's 64 years old. She talks about the medical concerns and what can be done. We encourage members to enroll in SHIF. Members, you heard the head of the civil service talk about enrollment in SHIF. Our expert in wellness, she has talked about enrollment in SHIF. Zakayo Gideon Habwe, thank you for the congratulations. You have congratulated the board. We have now seen the property deposits effort in top gear through tenders, in media adverts, and evictions. Keep up the momentum. Thank you for that message. You have also said we kindly request the board to consider, after sale of our flagship, the Telposta Towers, at 10% of proceeds to be distributed equally across board without considering grades. Let it be a one-off bonus, but to be equally distributed. We always respond. If you look at the frequently asked question, we have a document we did send to you. Payment of bonus is not guaranteed. It's not a guaranteed benefit. It's not provided for in the trust deed and rules of the scheme. However, once liquidity is improved, with the advice of the actuary, the trustees will go to the sponsor to enhance the benefits that is in payment. Unpaid bonus for 2020 should be paid in 2025. Again, there is no provision in the trust deed that said you must be paid a bonus. Number 4, we are eagerly looking forward to the chairman's commitment to a major long-awaited pension review. We hope it will include fixed bonus, annual pension increase of 3%. The fund was established to benefit pensioners only and no other party. So the views of the pensioners is pension needs to be increased. I'm totally in agreement with that. We need to enhance and review your pension in payment. And the promissory note is, once the property portfolio, we have started that liquidation, and the big elephant in the room is that big property, which we have to push to hand over, and we get good value for it. The last 2 questions, Joseph Mwadulo Shangala, who answers to members' problems when Social Health Authority insurance is not performing? May I request and respond to the members that the scheme does not manage SHIF contributions directly. For issues like missing deductions or delayed claims, members, we are currently encouraging you to contact SHIF customer care. Ours is to ensure we deduct at source. So those small hitches, go to the nearest customer care center. You will be actually assisted. The last question, Onesmus Molandi Munyithia, increase the pension in payment. So what is the general talk here? Pension is low. The trustees have heard your cry. They will do something. They will do what? And I encourage you, tell those people who want to go to court to stop us from disposing properties because they are occupying some of the houses. Please, prevail upon them not to take the trustees to court, especially as we move to the stage of disposing these assets. Court process is normally very long. Thank you, I've taken long. Allow me, MC, to call upon Ignatius to give us a vote of thanks. Yes, Mheshimiwa. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Can't you? I know you. Thank you. Yes. Peter Patterson Moedia, we will take your question. Councillor will take your question. Okay.
Mr. CEO.
Just hold on. Just hold on. There's an order for taking questions. We normally ask the first 10 questions. Okay? We'll ask the first 10 questions, and you'll give us your PF. What we were running is to ensure that we are not locked out of. It's 12:30. All the other members, if we are locked out of the screen, I hope you'll be patient. Let us be patient. We'll address all your questions. Are we together? Yes. Thank you. Let us ask the first 10 questions. Raise your PF number and your name. We'll take it. Okay, I am guided. Let us be patient. I've been guided so that we go off the screen, we give vote of thanks, and then questions will continue with the questions and answer session. Are we together? That is fine. What happens is, to delay, that's okay. We are responsive to your request. We are very responsive to your request. Just be patient, Mzee, just be patient. We'll be responsive to your request. Thank you. Let us take the first 10 questions. We have the PF numbers. So ask the questions, we'll record it, and we'll respond to them. Are we together? Thank you. Take the PF, and you have the microphones?
Aha. I'm not going to say show the sums, but now I'm going to say this. Are all those delegates that you came with going to be paid by our pension kete? Then again, for many years, let's say about all the 20 years, you've been paying 40 million to the lawyers. How much have you paid to the lawyers for 10 years, for every meeting that be coming for the delegates? And that's what we'd like to know. Because the money that which have been spent by the lawyers could have been better for us to be increased to go to our pension kitty. We've been so painful, and we have been paying us, knowing that every time that you've been paying about 40 million every year to the lawyers. If that money was supposed to be divided to many of us, we could actually be, and we could not be that down in our pension.
Just for our record purposes, may you kindly give us your PF number and name?
My name is Paul Gorir. PF 89998.
Just hold on. May I kindly get his PF number? I want to record it for our record purposes. Yeah.
My PF number is 29233, technician.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there a question recorded?
I've taken your question. It's regarding with legal payments.
Asante.
Thank you.
My PF is 60801. I'm directing this question to the RBA representative. The talk since morning has been about liquidity of our scheme. I would request Mr. Rotich that the program you have given us here, go by it. When people have questions, let them ask, and you answer them. So you should not cut them short, because this is a meeting that comes once a year. My question is this. The liquidity problem, the RBA knows the rule that requires a pension scheme to have a maximum of 30% in property portfolio. Where was RBA for the property portfolio of Telposta pension scheme to rise from 30% to 82%, which has resulted in these low pensions? People are talking about 4,000 shillings, but we have members who are earning 2,000 per month. That means a lot of our members have died because of this situation. The scheme, why was it allowed to operate outside the law to raise the portfolio to 82%? Asante.
Let's pass the microphone.
Thank you,
to that
Mr. Otich.
gentleman.
Thank you very much for the questions I'm going to put to you. As my friend, please, we have been together with you for many years. Respect me. I'm not a counselor, you know, I'm Hechimiwa. I was promoted by my voters. This is my fourth consecutive time being elected. Thank you, because I love you and I know you like me. So, Bonarutich, these people should know their rights, that as treasuries, they are the ones who can come next year, sack the entire team of our trustee and you people, and then we go back to the drawing board. We don't want to do that. Please, don't dictate to them that we cannot do this, we cannot do this. Let's know, one, bonuses that you have said is not in our profession. Sorry, I'm Johnson Joroge, PF number 61102, formerly with the Public Relations Department of Post Office, Sari Mujuma's place, the late. But later I was taken as a senior supervisor in Nyeri MTO, where I retired prematurely to go to politics. And I have taken this money for 38 years. This peanut that you are saying cannot be increased. That is one. President Kibaki realized that chiefs were earning 250 shillings only. And he went to the drawing board as a president, said the chiefs' least payment should be 5,000. And that is how it is. So ours, this is the second question, remark. Ours should not be negotiable in a way that it cannot be possible. Our asset is too much coming to the organization of the retirees. Now, the third one, this advocate, Kosewe, who is earning our 40 million without making sure that case is not going anywhere. This 40 million is being divided between our trustees and somebody else because they cannot keep on giving him. Olalo, yes, sorry. Oraro, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oraro, I beg your pardon. I have it here. That is 4. 5. I'm very quickly going. If this case cannot end in court with all our millions of shillings, let this case be taken to EACC for reconciliation with the government so that we have our money. Tuseme hatutaki kesi ya kotini na hiyo inakubaliwa. Mrudi kwa drawing board. Mseme tumesikizana. No more. Na tumekataa hiyo pesa kulipo wakili. We are the bosses. Next year, don't pay if this case is not heading. Yes, I propose that. And I know it's being seconded by everybody. 41. Thank you. Hata wewe ungeuliza hiyo yote. Mbona unauliza kwa wakati unakaa chini? Wakati unakaa chini. And the teacher is very good. The teacher anasikiza. Terms and condition of those people wameongea pale wote. Tunajua tunawalipa. Hatukuambiwa wanalipwa pesa ngapi. Nimeenda hapa, all those consultants of ours, hakuna pahali inasema they are paid this much because of doing this. Our money could be in those holes. Mtu anakuja anasema ni consultant, analipwa 10 million. Leta milioni 5 hapa. Tena terms yenyu, Bwana Rotich, is supposed to be renewed by us. Sio kuona Rotich mwaka huu. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking of anybody. Mwaka ule mwingine anakuwa kama our supervisor and we are your boss because you are telling us things like you have employed us. Okay. The 50th one, and almost the last. But I will cheat na kujaga ofisi kwako. Let's talk. Nilikuambia hata wakati ingine, people might try to fight Ruto, they will not be able. Because there are too many fighting by themselves. So, as a politician, I am not bringing my politics here. In fact, kuna hii kitu tumeulizwa, mzuri sana Bwana Utichi. When bonus is our right, our money inasaa ikiwa pahali, hawa wazee wanatoka nyumbani. Kama please, wanakufa na hawakubukwi. Tell us how much ulilipa masichi ya Trustee yule wetu rafiki yetu alikufa juzi na hawa wengine hawakubukwi. Na hiyo nikakuuliza juzi last meeting, let us have our welfare. Tunatoa 100 na Trustee inatuongeza 100. Wakati wa kifo yule wale family wanatumua 50,000. Wanunue saduku, wengine ni maskini ni hoi. Hiyo saduku wakinunua watakumbuka walikuwa wanafanya posta. Si ni kweli wasee? Sio kukufa, hata kuna matangazo kwa redio yenu Inoro, Waruya, hao wengine. Ya mwisho kabisa. Now we are the people to pass this. Sio kutuletea hapa unatuambia lecturing. Tunakuja tuna pass. Trustee wetu tunaweza kusaki hawa. Nimeona they are compromised. Yule mzee rafiki yangu tulikuwa nafanya na yeye, yule alikuwa hapo Trustee. Na ni wamechiba na wanaenda jaa. Now, I'm not speaking from nowhere. Lotichi mimi nakunywa chai kwako. Nakula sabusa. I love you. Ya mwisho ambaye wote wanagoja, tafadhali Lotichi. We are not begging you.
And this has been the live broadcast of Telposta Pension Scheme and Telposta Provident Fund live at the KICC. And of course, this meeting is coming to an end. And the chief guest of this particular meeting has been the head of public service, Felix Koskei, who was the chief guest. And of course, he pointed out key issues, saying, of course, even praising the pensioners, saying Kenya has realized a savings of up to 2.9 million, of course, 2.9 trillion Kenyan shillings through NSSF. And of course, he said other countries, that Kenya is learning from other countries like Singapore and of course Japan, the countries that have been able to save so much money, and this money has become a source of the country's funds to develop their own countries. And of course, Koskei is saying that even through our own savings as a country, that Kenya can be able to realize infrastructure projects, healthcare projects, of course, education, housing, transport, and even energy, saying through public-private partnerships, PPP, that the country can also, of course, offer a viable vehicle to achieve this, well, of course, safeguarding returns for pensioners, saying that various pensions, including the Telposta pension scheme, can be able to save their money and, of course, do business with the government, of course, even, for example, constructing the roads and even the energy sectors. And through that, they can be able to realize a lot of interest and so much returns. But, of course, one of the hot issues being raised here is the sale of assets, fixed assets belonging to this particular pension scheme, and that is one of the iconic buildings that is placed in the middle of Nairobi's capital, and that is Telposta Towers. And of course, this particular scheme is, of course, in a process of selling that particular towers to the government at around 10 billion shillings, and that is money that will come back to members. And of course, the members are saying they are expecting to benefit from that kitty of about 10 billion Kenyan shillings. The government is, of course, saying that the sale or the pension being allowed to sell this particular tower is, of course, the balancing that is required by the RBA or the benefits authority, that they should be able to balance between fixed assets, of course, and of course the liquid assets. And I'll take you back to the studio for a normal programming. My name is Giverson Minor.
Alafu nikaendelea mpaka 207 tukaenda retrenchment. From 207 tukaenda nyumbani. Tukakaa nyumbani.
Dr. Sun, this is my nephew. He just came to Sana. Is he hurt badly?
Badly, yeah.
Weren't you pretty spry just now? Said I was lovely, wanted my WeChat and all, and now you're hurt?
I can tolerate a lot of things, but not matters like this.